We're like, come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, what is the TikTok?
Okay, so. Second question.
Maybe two Dante.
Aw.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Yeah, sure. Fine. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm happy to support it. I run the street. Please, you're being real.
Just that if more people are sitting here. I'm worried. What? Discussion.
Yes.
We're gonna have this.
Wait, do you have like
Yeah. Even longer.
Test, one, two, test, yes, you know, one.
right now, I'm gonna have a base.
True, he said. I need to.
That's the first part I heard.
Does you won't be back.
That would be.
You are. You're suited.
Yeah, no.
Alright, talking. Pleasure. Being visitor. No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, feel like. I will say
Can I, wait.
Wait, what? Oh, it's your SCG.
Who's it? Mike.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was fine if you didn't.
Guess you're not sitting there either.
Gang.
Some of this, I might not.
No, I don't know. I just heard that you had.
Well, I'm trying to. No, I mean, like, I. I'm like, I got my sandwich, but I have too much. Who's dead? I know, but like, I eat sandwiches and like kind of nasty. Like, I don't want to be like, yeah, I didn't get a tuna one today though, so I just like to play big. I don't plan on non-dining sandwiches.
So I think this.
I think some of their best work is the sandwich. Doyla, nobody makes a better sandwich than her. I have the Don right now, but the tuna is my favorite. I'm talking about. Yeah, I love the sandwiches. That's my favorite section. in the dining hall. Yeah,
Gotta get sorted.
she's the best. She always gives me so much tuna in my sandwich.
Michael, I'm well. What's up?
Hey. Hey.
Next to Judy. Oh, that's a horror. Because I think was. There was?
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is my best friend Riley. I'm making a joke. Where? Let's not make assumptions. This is what they would say. Well, I just think. I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm also like, I need other people to do it because I just like doing it. Yeah.
It's just Cindy and Melissa.
Getting.
Oh, Melissa,
Yeah. I can text it to you.
No, Jamie, yeah, we're gonna replace Tess and Dante in the same spots that they're in, and we look like Tess and Dante.
Computer in this building. Hey Cindy, can we test your mic?
What were you talking about?
Can you test
You
your?
can't be yapping out my name like that.
Thank you.
Oh, Cindy's on set. We're gonna be next to the president.
Okay, let's go.
Let's get to it.
Are you abstaining?
Hey, do I have to sign anything? Josh, not Josh, I still need Josh. Did you make Josh?
Yeah, they're-
Hi.
I think most of it. Yeah, I used to.
Like, it's like 15 minutes, I think it's like how you get paid.
I asked him.
I'll leave it.
Hey.
Or I am actually assuming on Thursday. Oh, yeah, I can. You're right.
Yeah, having to make decisions about rats.
Yeah, did you go to the fair today? What are you thinking?
They all.
I wanna do a development program here, but it's a 1 year waiting. Because they want you to have a bath.
No, you're good.
We should wait till the fall.
Experience.
That's, yeah, I can understand.
It starts.
And I'm also looking at library science. I can't help academic advising, just having to pick.
That starts to pile up, yeah, you got choice, yeah. Did you get a chance to meet those?
Expecting that noise.
Academic advising wasn't there.
But you're.
Did I ever say?
Advisor Dr. Leslie.
Oh. I thought.
She knows I'm in there.
Next time, remember one for
I need boss.
And they don't have a free program here, so I have classes review.
You wanna fix it? I guess not, just.
I live.
I used to.
Yeah.
But that's how I.
She got her associate.
But I didn't get Asian. Really look at that. I get nasty about my sandwich.
Yeah.
How are you, President Warner? I'm good. Good, thank you.
What about everything?
So.
Such a beautiful.
Oh, McDowell's.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I got you a seat, Jack, right ahead of the room.
It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, you keep it.
Yeah. Definitely.
You want your name tag for the. And. They didn't email me, so they've like, oh, all right.
It's fine, I just.
I know that still standing.
Everyone's committee meetings run on a print day.
Yep. And you need the house?
I think that.
Yeah, I can't.
just
do mine.
might.
Months. I'm like.
Hey, Celeste, come up here now.
She's down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's all back together again, so.
Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty, and what we do. Good.
Take the bill.
Yeah.
That was a.
Okay, you got a good audience last night. You got a good audience.
Well, you know. That's the number one and number two people. Just kind of think of them so far.
Yep. That's good.
Hey, go. Sorry.
I got you.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, I was explaining how I like it. Sometimes you're like, hurry up. Mine's. Oh, is this the most favorite show?
You looking forward to Friday, President Warner?
Favorite show today?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
It went to lunch.
He's so right. Yeah.
Yeah. We went to the It was a good night. You were like extra involved.
You call me. I'll make sure.
Oh, yeah.
Let me.
It'll be great to have. Oh, yeah. I'm doing, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Right, so that's great. I'm happy. Yeah.
I appreciate that. You gotta grab some.
I remember.
Thank
I
you.
saw you there. And then.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, sir. Yeah. Birthday's on Friday.
I think so.
It is now. Like, you're gonna see me on my camera. But I do. No, I was gonna eat it before the meeting and then I got.
Let's do that.
I get excited about Donovan's wedding too. It's out of perspective. I get too excited. This is my favorite.
It's for us.
That's you know, for the treasure.
This guy. You're never.
Super, yeah.
You take.
Why?
Yeah, that already means. Then you will be here.
So I got every single thing I was really going. I got her.
They're over there on that table. So you need your name tag.
Oh, she said, she didn't speak it.
New house, new kid, that's the rule.
I got her. I'm curious because I got her that.
I went to school.
You know, and I got her that.
To ask you about it, about. I'm Parliament, but running for vice president.
Yeah, she gave me a list.
So I think
This.
that environment is, I love it. I have a special opinion.
One area.
Okay,
Small area.
It's like, it's
Like.
I'm not sure.
That one. The day after.
I'd like to go get my phone, but then I can go to San Diego.
Very good.
I don't know if I wanna see.
You better stay. No, I know she.
Okay.
We may be going back.
Yeah.
I'll probably work for the GM, or I would.
For a grad. We made it this way. And help you all find
And I think,
grad program outside.
But
on the other side, we would never use it because URI has the idea, and the idea is
Give, I think with the staff.
because I don't think so, because the URI is
That's
the
me.
as a public.
Right now, we're just like.
Get a-
That we can.
through the MPA degree. So certificates and once you get public policy. I don't think.
Back in the day, though.
We're doing everything right now, but that would mean that we would necessarily not.
Oh, I think that sounds right. You'll have to say that, right?
Yeah. Remember the guy stated.
I know. It's like.
Well, Brown
Yeah.
created. But they have always
Yeah, it must be that.
That's my.
No.
Yes, I like to pass that. Things like trees, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
Like,
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Hope the semester isn't kicking your butt too much. Notes keep in mind. I'd like to call this meeting to order. It is 7:02 PM. It's November 19th, 2025. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And then Nikita, would you please take roll call?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dr. Di Gregorio.
Here.
Tess Sullivan. Here. Marina Colonis. Here. Miguel Hoyos.
Series was in short.
Benjamin Tomini.
Here.
Jack Doyle.
Come on now.
Brianna Acosta.
Here.
Isabella Bob.
Here.
Joshua Ballesteros.
Yes.
Olivia Barone. Monica, how do I say your last name? Monica Buzzena.
Here.
Diane Lynn Campbell.
Present.
Sonia Chitayan.
Present.
William Dempsey. Donovan Dodson. Jamie Goldberg.
Here.
Alexandra Howlett.
Yeah.
Riley Jackman.
Here.
Alex Kong.
Here.
Judy LaRose.
Here.
Alex Logan.
Present.
Malcolm Mann.
Here.
Paige Marshall.
Here.
Addison Mello.
Here.
Joshua, how do I say your last name?
Mahalos.
Joshua Mihalos. James Nellis.
Here.
Marcus Pacheco.
Here.
Kai Reed.
Here.
Marcus Rocha.
Here.
Haley Rose. Chris Russell.
Here.
Jason Sanchez. Jonathan Seguin.
Here.
Mia Smith. Nilsa Tashchin.
Here.
Jasmine Valdez.
Present.
Lucas Weber. Cindy Kozel here. Perry Levis.
Here.
Melissa Marcotte's not here. Michael Kane.
Present.
Michael Ward.
Here.
Ted Zito.
Here.
Matthew Jakes. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Nikita. We're gonna move on to the agenda. I have a couple amendments to make. So I want to look at that. So first, under constitutions and organization conference reports, Anchor TV is not coming in today, so I'll remove that. Let's see. Under reports, I'd like to add in section C, finance budget report from Treasurer Hoyos. And then under new business, just a little miscommunication, but we're gonna add in section B, bylaws, adjudication, policy revision discussion, Ben Tomini by me. I'd like to seek a motion to make those amendments. Motion by Representative Russell, second by Representative LaRose. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed, and now I would like to seek a motion to approve the amended agenda. Motion by Representative Reed, second by Representative Mann. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Approval, the agenda is good. There's no minutes for us to look over today. So promptly, we are gonna move on to our speaker section. I would like to introduce President Jack Warner. He is here today to address Parliament and answer any questions that Parliament has. Jack Warner, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's good to be here. I appreciate the invitation, always appreciate a chance to interact with the student leaders responsible for reflecting student interests around campus. And that's the job that I think this group does exceptionally well. So I'm pleased to do that. I thought I'd give you a little bit of overview, kind of the state of the college at this point, and talk a little bit about things we are focused on this year, and talk also a little bit about our legislative agenda. We're always mindful of that at this time of the year because the legislature will crank up in January, and we have specific asks because they have to do with the future viability of the institution. So, is that fair game? If I've left anything out, just ask about it, because I want to leave ample time for all of you to ask about questions and have an interaction with you. Well, the state of the college is really quite strong right now. Our enrollment is 6,645. If you had asked me 3 years ago when I started this journey, what would be the ideal enrollment for Rhode Island College where we could grow into our budget concerns that we had at the time and all of that, I would have said it would be about 6,500, and that our sweet spot would be between 6,500 and 7,000. And we're at 6645. So it's exceeded our expectations. We budgeted for about 6,330 students. So when you come in over budget, you generate more revenue from tuition and fee dollars, but you also generate more expense because we had to add a lot of sections so that students would get the courses that they needed. So I think we're in very good shape from that perspective. Our residence halls are filled, which is very pleasing to us. It took a while for the residence hall system to recover post-COVID. And last year was the first year we had enough students for those to break even. And so if you live in the residence halls, know that some of your room rent goes to pay down the debt that built them in the first place, and the other part goes to operations of the residence halls. Under Rhode Island law, residence halls and dining and the bookstore all have to, they're called auxiliaries, and they have to be self-supporting. We cannot allocate state dollars that we get or tuition dollars for that matter to those operations. They are funded by the fees that are designated for them. And just for the record, I've been looking for ways to invest in some of the older housing stock there because some of those facilities are a little tired. And so we found a way to do it. And that will be part of our legislative agenda. The debt service from Penfield is expiring at the end of this fiscal year on June 30th. We pay about 1.6 million a year for that debt service. So that will be retiring, and we can take that same payment and leverage it into a $20 million bond issue that we can then invest in updating the residence halls, attending to things that aren't pretty like plumbing and HVAC and roofs and all of that sort of thing, but also to dress them up at the same time. So we have a plan to do that. If that works out, we can start construction as early as next summer. But probably over the next 2 summers, we would be staging a significant work on the residence halls. Now, that requires legislative approval, even though we're not using state money. They have to approve us going to the bond market to do that. So that's one of our legislative priorities as well, to seek a revenue bond. That's pretty easy to get because it's not requiring the state to invest any of its own money. So we're pretty optimistic about that. So enrollment is up, retention is also up, and we think we certainly have a much more robust campus life, and that's owing to the work of Cindy Kozel and her team and Ted Zito and his, and we've redesigned dining under Mike Ward's leadership here. I can't get students to say a bad word about the dining, and God knows I try. And I will be serving Thanksgiving dinner with my wife tomorrow at 5. So a number of us are going to do that. That's always great fun. Last year, I think it was the sweet potatoes. I had to convince people that, sweet potatoes are really good for you. You should try them. So anyway, we're focused on a few things this year. A couple of years ago, we put into place a strategic plan. We call it the strategic compass because what does a compass do? Where does a compass point? North to a North Star, right? And our North Star is student-centeredness. We want to be the most student-centered institution that we can be. And that's the guiding principle. That's why it's a compass pointing to that. And the first goal of that is to redesign our policies, our procedures, our practices, all to be much more student-centered than they are. It takes a lot of work to redesign a whole lot of the ways that we do business. We're not sufficiently automated on campus, so we have a plan to fix that, but that'll take a while. But this year, we've decided to focus on 3 initiatives, and I think one of them rises to a level of importance for you because the student survey that you did draws into question some of the ways that we do academic advising. at the institution. So I have a project team. I have 3 project teams that are derived from goals 1 and 3 of the strategic plan to be more effective and more efficient, and also to focus on student-centeredness. We have a whole task group on advising. I charged that group today, and Lucas is a member of that advising team. So we want to get the student input directly. We have another one on pathways, because as you know, the Hope Scholarship has been crucial to our recent success. We're getting a lot of interest in the institution because there's the possibility of getting the second 2 years for free. And we push very hard. You can get a bachelor's degree for under $25,000 here. And who can say that? And if you're getting financial aid, it might cost you nothing at all. So we think we have a value proposition to promote. We think that's the reason that our open house last Saturday before that drew 1,600 people. So if you think about it in this context, last year it drew 1,200 people, and we had the largest freshman and transfer class in 15 years. And so the interest continues to grow. And I think people are catching on that this is a real destination. And one of the things that I thought was really revealing, because for years I think we were seen as the place, if you couldn't get into anywhere else, you'd go to Rhode Island College. But that's not true anymore. 57% of students coming in said that we were their first choice. So think about the kind of sea change it takes for that change in perception. And another 30% said that we were their second choice. So that's a far cry from the way we had been perceived. So I think there's a lot of positives going on here. So we're focused on advising, we're focused on streamlining pathways toward a degree so it'll be easier for students to graduate in 4 years. So I've always said since I've been here that if students decide they need to take longer to work or to attend to other obligations that you have, that's one thing. But if we are creating barriers that get in the way of that, we want to remove them. So the second project team is focused on streamlining the pathways so that students can get through here in a 4-year period and look at the barriers that might get in the way of all that. And then the third task team that we have is focused on the Hope Scholarship itself. And because we want everybody in this institution to understand how important that is to us. It's designed as a pilot program, so it's not permanent yet. And in this upcoming legislative session, we will seek either permanence or extension of it for another few years. Because if we don't, the last eligible high school graduating class will be the class of 2026. So next fall, we wouldn't be able to recruit for the following fall. So we need to do one of those two things. And last night I had a reception at my home, which most of you have been to. We'll do that again in the spring. But I had a reception for legislators who are our own alumni. So we had some key people. We had the Senate president there last night and the Senate majority leader. So the number 1 and number 2 people in the Senate attended, several House of Representatives members as well. And we gave them little fact sheets, so they couldn't get food unless they saw one of these. And it also outlined our legislative agenda, which is to get a favorable budget. We put forward a budget called current service level, which would, the state asks us to frame a budget that allows us to do exactly what we're doing this year. What would that take? And it'll take about a $2.1 million appropriation because salary increases kick in, other inflation kicks in. So it'll cost us more to do the same thing that we're doing this year, next year. And a tuition and fee increase of 3.5%. That tuition and fee increase, by the way, still has us at the bottom of all our peer institutions for affordability in New England. So as we look at institutions of our type, we charge the lowest tuition and fees, and that will keep us there. We are also asked to put forward a constrained budget, and the state is facing about a $300 million deficit. Now, it may not be as bad as we think. That's against a $14 billion budget. So but it's still a significant enough percentage that the money is likely to be tight. So we may not be able to get our current service level budget. And in a worst case scenario, they would cut us by about 7 million, which would not help us at all. It would just disturb our momentum. And that would mean that we would not be able to carry up to 45 of the employees that we currently have. So that would be very challenging for us. The first sign of a budget is the governor submits it in January. Is this stuff, Perry, that I should tell your American family?
No, you're gonna tell them how you advocate for the,
And that I will. And
well, you can come to my budgeting class
What do you
and
got?
you can talk to them about
Oh,
the
you got
budget.
that one too? Sure, I'll go there too. So anyway, so our plan is to on the operating side, to advocate for our current service level budget. On the capital side, we have the residence hall bond issue for 20 million, and we're seeking also 78 million to update and rehab the library, which is one of our oldest buildings on campus. So that's pretty much it. I also did want to say that we held a presidential forum a couple of weeks ago, and that was really designed to so much of what goes on in society today is people yelling at each other from the extremes in social media and other forms of one-way communication. So we thought having a debate on the issue of what represents better preparation, the liberal arts or career-focused preparation. And we had two nationally known speakers on each side of that issue. And then we had breakout groups, and all of them were led by students. And I know Dante and Tess and Ben, you all led breakout groups and reported out. Oh, Marina, how could I forget? I can tell you that the audience was impressed with the level of analysis and synthesis that you offered when you reported back out again. But it's all designed to have debate around the issues, and so many of the issues are polarizing these days. But our obligation is to teach students how to think. And a number of us had that conversation on the quad the day after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. We're not here to teach you what to think. We're here to teach you how. And that gets stimulated whenever you have opposing points of view that you can weigh yourself, and you can weigh how you weigh in on any given set of issues. And that might set the context for, I know what else is on your agenda for tonight. But and so whenever one polarizing side presents, we ought to have a forum that presents the other point of view in the same arena, so people can make their own evaluations and judgments about that. So as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, President Warner. Before we move to questions, I don't think I've sent out an email about it yet, but at the next meeting, potentially the provost is coming in and the vice provost of academic affairs is coming in. So if you have academic class related questions, I would suggest maybe reserving those for next meeting. Not that I don't think you could give a great answer, but that is the source.
Of course I can.
Having said that, I have a question. Maybe this is unfair on the speaker. But what could SCG do to help in kind of Rick's lobbying pursuit for this funding that we're going after? Is there anything SCG can do?
Absolutely. You can contact the representatives and senators that live in your district, and you let them know that you're voted.
Yeah.
And that you want to weigh in on. We're going to wait to see what the governor puts in his budget.
Mhm.
He'll decide, for example, mean, of all the things we're lobbying for, extension or permanence of the Hope Scholarship is the most important. That has really stimulated a renaissance on this campus. So we can get you talking points. So one of the things you do in lobbying is you have an elevator speech. And why do they call it that? And if you get yourself in an elevator with a legislator, what are you gonna tell that legislator? In the 30 seconds that you have, how do you encapsulate the points that you wanna make? So boom, 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 and that's about all. You know, you make your points, you make them with punch, and you make them quickly with emphasis, and you show your passion about it. So we'll give you some elevator speech talking points that you can use, and encourage you to contact your legislators. We will also have a RIC Day at the State House. We do that every year, and that's an opportunity for students to show up and you go see your legislator from your district. And we can get you information about that, who represents what district and so on, and you can determine who it is you want to approach. Because that does really matter. And hearing from students, the student voice is really powerful. Out in South Dakota, where I spent about 6 years, we used to have what we called shed days, student higher ed days at the legislature. And we had about 75 students come in from our 6 universities. And I would prep them on what the legislative agenda for the system was, and it would give them the talking points, and we would rehearse a bit, and then we would fan them out, and they would talk to their legislators. One time I was trying to kill a bill, and the bill was important for us. But there are bills that you want to really promote and say, you know, like the Hope Scholarship bill, you want to promote that. And there are other bills that come up that are perilous and you want to kill them. Well, if you're a lobbyist, like I've been, all you need to know is how to count. You count the votes. You go get commitments from people and you count the votes. And I counted that I could kill that bill by 1 vote in the House. And by the time the students were done, we won it by 11 votes. So you want to calculate the value added of student lobbying? Exactly that. We just flooded the floor of the House and with students who were speaking out in opposition to the bill, and it really does help. There's a lot of power in it. So we can get you the information, the talking points, and so on. So when the time comes, we're happy to do that.
Okay, great. Thank you. So Rhode Island residents, you heard it from the man. Representative Mann? Oh, also, sorry, I just called on you. Before you ask your question, President Warner, introduce yourself so he knows who he's talking to.
I think we've spoken a few times, but I'm out, man.
And where are you from and what's your major?
Yeah, I'm from Coventry.
Icebreaker.
I actually have 3 majors.
3?
I have 3. Political science, public administration, and law.
Quite a combination.
I enjoy it. I respect what you're doing. I have just like a question and then some follow-up questions after you answer. So I heard about something through the grapevine, about a retirement opportunity for some faculty and staff. Can you just expand on that or explain that to me?
We've done this a couple of times since I've been here. It offers a cash incentive for people who have a combination of, well, you have to be here a minimum of 10 years. But if your age and your number of years adds up to 80, then you're eligible for the retirement incentive. So we'll offer a percentage of the salary. Those who might be thinking about moving on. Now, part of why you do this is to right size a budget if you're anticipating a stress on the budget. And if we have to endure, let's say for the sake of discussion, the state does not fund the 2.1 million that we're requesting for current service level. We've got to make up that money somehow. We don't want to put it on the backs of students. So a retirement incentive offers the opportunity to replace a given faculty member at a salary. So it also gives an opportunity to reallocate from areas of low demand to areas of higher demand. So it offers a number of opportunities. And we bring in at the same time people who beginning their careers. They can put lots of energy in it.
Do you have like a certain amount of people you're expecting, like, that opportunity?
Oh, it's totally voluntary, so it depends on, individuals have to think for themselves. It's also, by the way, a way to honor the people who've served the institution for long periods of time. So, no, I have no idea. It'll be a combination of faculty and staff. Every level of the institution is eligible, except I think for Council 94 employees who are in a different retirement system. So, so people make individual decisions. Nobody's being pushed along. So people make decisions based on their own finances, their own readiness to move on to retire.
And just one last thing. So like, people take this opportunity because it's a good option, and if they're already close to retirement, why not? Some departments, I don't know if they can like handle like losing some like valuable people and experience, and like, are you thinking of filling those, all of those, or like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. So let's say this is just the amount of people leave like one department, another department. So there's like higher demand for this department. Can you just like not hire anyone for the other department, or just stay constant at like a low end? Like
It depends, which is my answer to every question, by the way. What does it depend on? So it may depend on the kind of budget that we have for next year, because the implications of a retirement program kick in beginning the following year. If I have to reconcile significant budget deficit, which by the way, I had to reconcile when I first came here, our budget was hugely out of whack. And so you do it in a number of ways. So it may be that if I have to cut 45 FTEs out of our budget, then a lot of those positions will not be filled at all. They might be filled with adjunct faculty if it's faculty positions, or assignment of responsibilities for administrative areas have to be done differently to compensate for the loss of people. And the first priority is to keep any direct service to students as immune from all of that as we can. So decisions are made based on the overall financial condition of the institution. And there, in some cases, positions do get reallocated, particularly if there's if a retirement comes from a very high demand area, that position will get filled. For some low demand areas, maybe not. Those are all opportunities to reconcile or right size a budget. And one of my first priorities is that if the budget gets stressed because the state needs to cut money, I do everything I can to avoid laying people off. And if people decide to move on voluntarily, it's a much better alternative. I've never guaranteed that I won't. That the budget is serious enough that may be my last option. But we did reconcile a pretty large budget hole without laying anybody off, without having a hiring freeze, without furloughing anyone. And if you look around at other institutions around here, many are doing all of those things. Johnson & Wales just laid off over 90 people. Roger Williams has furloughed people. We will do everything we can to avoid those kinds of outcomes. And I never believe in what's called a hiring freeze, because there are positions that absolutely have to be filled. So, and we want to be able to exercise discretion about that. Does that answer your questions?
Thank you, Dr. Warner, and thank you, Representative Mann, for those questions. Next, the line is President DiGregorio, his question.
So obviously, we were given the distinct privilege to be able to give you a paper copy of the executive summary and a digital copy. I was just curious that if there's anything in there that stuck out to you or anything that you took away from the executive summary.
The biggest alignment I saw was around academic advising. We've known that we could do a lot better job about that. It's something that we wanted to focus on in any case, so it was good to see that students and administrators are seeing the problem. Many of the exact solutions will get hammered out in that project team that Lucas is on. And so we'll be interested in other ideas. We've been trying to develop what we call a hybrid system, where we have professional advisors that are focused on students in their first year and sometimes in the second year. And then when students begin selecting their majors, they're assigned to faculty in those majors. We also understand that we need a better accountability system and a better way to evaluate the effectiveness of advisors. So all of that is on the table. I think that the findings about the food, I think I did not take into account that we have new, it's like a restaurant that's under new management. So now it's much more popular. Other matters seem to fall, and we know our residence halls need sprucing up. We've got a plan for that. And we also know that there's a phenomenon around called the Rick Runaround. I try to look at underlying causes of things, and this institution never got automated the way it should. We have an enterprise system called PeopleSoft. It didn't get implemented. Most places have what's called a degree audit system that calculates the courses that the students have taken and can calculate what options you need going forward. We don't have any of that. We still do our degree audits by hand. That's something out of the 1970s. So the best way that we can fix it is to implement a new ERP system. We call it enterprise system. And we are going to collaborate with CCRI on a common platform. It's a system called the Lucian Cloud that we're interested in. We will do some of that with CCRI. We'll retain our own way of doing business. That's about a 5-year project, but it strikes at the underlying cause of why people get run around. The other thing that we're planning to do is to take a building on the East Campus and gut it and make it a one-stop center where you have financial aid people in there, you have the registrar, you have the bursar, and you have the other student-facing operations all under one roof. So you don't get bounced around from one place to another. So that is a capital project that's on the drawing boards right now that's also designed to get at that. We want to provide better service for students. And that's right next to the building where the food pantry is and financial aid is and so on. But we think we can make a nice, attractive facility that can be a one-stop center in that way.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Warner. Next, Vice President Sullivan.
Awesome. Hi, Jack. Long time no see. So I had my Hope Committee meeting today, and we were talking a lot about how Hope is perceived by other students. And one point that was brought up is that Hope, and I don't think it's a bad thing, I want to clarify that, but Hope supports mainly traditional students. And what makes Rick so great is that we have a lot of non-traditional students. And I think what's good about Hope is that we'll give a lot of money to the college. It'll give money to students who need traditional students so they are able to get through and graduate. But it also can give other money to other aspects, give us more resources in other aspects of the college to support these non-traditional students. Do you have any examples of what those supports could be for non-traditional students that would benefit from the Hope Scholarship?
Say that non-traditional students in.
Yeah, so like students who might need to take a break or like who aren't eligible for a Hope Scholarship, but they would still benefit from Hope Scholarship being passed.
Well, the Hope Scholarship is important to us because we have more students and we have more revenue and we can make more investments. I think what will help all students is to raise the visibility of our student support services, the ones that we have tutoring services, we have supplemental instruction, we have reading and math, supplemental support and labs for that. We want to elevate the importance of that, invest in that, and that will help anybody with their academics and the way they proceed through. Does that get at what you were?
Yeah, that was what we were talking about, is because how can we advertise Hope to students who are gonna get Hope and like also have them see the good parts of it or why it's beneficial.
We also want to improve our advising and streamline our pathways for everybody. Whether you end up qualifying for the Hope Scholarship or not, if we can get you through faster because of things that we're doing, then that benefits everybody.
Right.
So, and that's part of what we're aiming to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative LaRose.
Hey, Dr. Warner, I'm Judy. I think. Kind of also speaking to what Vice President Spalding was saying, I'm curious as to what the future looks like for the Foster Care Youth Scholarship as somebody who directly benefits from that. And it has made a monumental difference in my college experience. I mean, we've talked about it before. And I know a lot of people in my cohort aren't as eager to like get in front of a group of people and vouch for it. I'm just curious. I know we've talked about budgeting issues and how we want Rick to stay student-centered. I think an important part of that is making sure that people who are disadvantaged still get to go to college. And I think programs like the Foster Care Youth Scholarship are really helpful. I'm just curious what the future looks like for that, because I know it was a pilot. It wasn't ingrained into the college. I'm just curious if that will be something in the future that, you know, despite budgeting issues, will still exist.
Well, it may not be able to exist at the scale that it's at, to be honest. We were funded for about 12 students to participate in that program. And there are 24. So we are supporting the additional 12 with our own resources. We have resources that we get from the state to support the first 12. We are supporting the second 12 with our own. We are putting about $1 million into the program a year. So that may force us to reduce the number of new participants in it, because the level of participation far exceeded what we thought, but we were committed to it. So we committed the resources to it. We commit resources to things that we think are really important. And that's a point of personal investment for me to support students, you know, who've grown up through the foster care system, because most states have abysmal track records when it comes to post-secondary achievement by foster care youth.
About 4% in general of
it's
people
horrible.
graduate in 4 years.
So, and that's why we designed it to be a really high-level support program for 52 weeks a year in residence and dining and all of that kind of thing. We have, you know, a person allocated to the program working through it, a graduate student at my former institution, by the way. And so I know her level of commitment with the foster youth herself. And so we will continue as unless the budget gets so stressed that because then everything suffers in this situation. But we have a track record of very strong. And as long as we can, we will continue to support. We also lobby for more investment on the part of the state. DCYF needs to step up in some ways about all of that. So we're in negotiations with them. We need to leverage commitment out of them to support this program as well. But it's been a priority. When Representative Casimiro came to me a couple of years ago and, you know, put the problem, I said, listen, we're a state institution. These are wards of the state. We'll take care of it. That's a commitment. we have maintained. So would have been easier for us to say, well, we can only serve 12, but we didn't. We went all in.
It's widely appreciated. I can speak on behalf of everybody in the
You're a good spokesperson.
company. Thanks.
Thank you. Representative Logan.
Yes, you already know me. So, when you were talking about the one-stop place for all the financial buildings, I think you kind of already answered it, but I was wondering about the food pantry. Especially with what happened recently with it being flooded. And I know that that was a tremendous hardship for many students who are being affected by the SNAP benefit cuts. What's your plan if this were to happen again? Because I know that those buildings, or that building in particular, has had issues before.
Well, I think I've talked to the facilities people and they think they've identified what the underlying problem is, so it's far less likely to happen again. You mean the flooding part of it?
Yes.
Or the SNAP part of that? Because
Well,
I can control the flooding, but I
Yeah.
can't control the SNAP piece.
If I may, I'd be happy to share, because I work really closely with Learning for Life, and I think, you know, in times when terrible things like that happen is when Rick rises, and, you know, in a matter of moments when that flood was there, key people were actually at the space to assess the damage, take care of it physically, but then also working with Anastasia and her group to secure some additional funding for students who might really be in need, not just because of the flooding, but because of what was happening with SNAP benefits. And so we put into place a plan for students to be able to access meals through a grant program in dining, so another collaboration. So if a student was coming in for snacks, we could get them a meal right at dawn. But if they needed shopping carts to go to the grocery store where we couldn't access those items because they were either damaged or not accessible in the moment, Learning for Life worked hard to make sure we had grocery carts available for students to get access to them. I'm happy to say that that we're up and running as of Monday, which was a great accomplishment, because if you could have seen the water flowing the day that I saw it, it was striking. But good news that we got teams on site quickly with good collaboration, and we're back up and running. And so I would say in the future, what we would probably try to do is respond in a similar fashion, and make sure that I think the bigger piece would be to make sure we're reaching the students effectively and efficiently with what they need, and they know how to access those. So we did some targeted outreach as well as post some messaging to students about how to get help.
Yeah, like, I know that we're doing much better at advertising for the food pantry, but I still feel like a lot of people don't know that it exists because it's all the way on East Campus, and, you know, people, you know, it's kind of like hidden.
Well, it's pretty visible if you park in the, you know, now a lot of students are parking in that parking lot between the two campuses. So it's quite visible from there. But part of the reason for the location on the East Campus is to make it easier for students to be anonymous and taking
Yeah.
advantage of it. So
That makes
there's
sense.
sometimes some shame associated with the need to, you know, get food at bargain prices. So we thought that actually the location there might provide more traffic to it, because it's you can do it a little more anonymously. People don't need to see you coming and going.
Yeah, that makes sense, because last semester in one of my youth development classes, we did a project that included mentioning the food pantry, and a couple of my classmates brought up that, you know, a lot of people don't know it exists. And I mean, it's understandable, like, why you want to keep it hidden.
Wouldn't describe it as
I mean,
hidden.
not hidden, but you know what I
But
mean.
it's not in the main thoroughfare.
Right.
Where, you know, for a reason.
And that's
It's
totally.
got big letters on it.
What's that?
It's got big lettering on the building.
It's got
pantry.
pretty big
Yeah.
lettering. It's pretty obvious from that.
We're also, you know, tracking numbers as well, and we're seeing positive use as compared to the previous year. in terms of
Okay.
that, and try to advertise in broader ways to make known where it exists, how to get there, but also how the hours and when they run. So I think we'll, you know, when the data comes back at the end of the semester, when we look at it more closely, I'm expecting our numbers to be up, from where they were last year.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, well, I think I want you to know is that we have a commitment to maintaining it. We raised funds for it. Contributed significant funds to it, and encouraged others to match. So, trying to set an example for it. So a combination of fundraising and our own institutional commitment is not going to. So we put out a pretty extensive memo when SNAP benefits were threatened too, just so that people would understand their options. And I think you have a social and engagement platform that thing, that might be used as a way to get the word out. To students too.
I think that's a great idea.
Because we co-invested in that.
Yeah. PR committee?
Fun. I'll do all the posts.
All right, we're gonna move on. Treasurer Hoyos, you have a question?
Yeah, hi, President Warner.
And thank you both.
I'm Miguel, I'm the treasurer.
I knew that.
And I was wondering, based on the Hope Scholarship coming up, it made me think, what stops, if the Hope Scholarship is extended and the state agrees to pay for Rhode Island residents who meet certain criteria, pay their tuition and fees, what mechanism prevents Rick from raising tuition and fees to kind of capture that money?
I'm not sure I'm following the question.
Well, do you know the Bennett hypothesis? From
Yeah.
Secretary of Education?
Oh, he had many hypotheses.
Okay.
It's hard to keep track of.
One of them was that when schools receive aid from states or the federal government, they can then raise their tuition to gain more profit because that's revenue. So is there any mechanism in place that stops Rick from doing that with the Hope Scholarships?
Well, yeah, some things are self-regulating. I never bought that, by the way. He was referring to the impact of Pell Grants and how many institutions would raise their money, would raise their tuition and fee levels not to leave Pell money on the table, was the expression that was used back in the day. But I'm not sure he had solid evidence to support his claim. But we rely on a state appropriation for the Hope Scholarship. This year, the state is kicking in 5.7 million to support the Hope Scholarship. Because it gets more and more successful each year, we have a larger pool of people that are eligible because we've really attended to doing all the things that we can to help students become eligible for it. Next year, the price tag will go to 7 million. If we raise tuition, the state's price tag goes up. It costs more per student. So one of the factors that would encourage us to keep tuition low is to keep the total cost of the Hope Scholarship manageable so we can sell it better. So I would argue the opposite of the Bennett hypothesis here, that we have incentives to keep our tuition reasonably low, to keep the cost of the Hope Scholarship down. Because one of the reasons the state might question whether it's going to continue to fund it or not is that if more and more students get eligible, the more it's going to cost the state. And they say, wow, I don't know if this is sustainable. So that's an incentive for keeping tuition lower.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you.
So you can tell Bill Bennett I said that.
Yeah. We're gonna hear from our last representative tonight for the sake of time. That is Representative Pacheco. And thank you.
Nice to meet you, President Warner. You mentioned dinner once to his house. I'm Marcus Pacheco. I'm really a non-traditional student. So, I have a few tough questions for you. Some of them tie into some of the things that were discussed earlier, and some of them are a little bit different. So, first of all, you talked about raising tuition, right? Currently, tuition here is about $100 difference from the money you get from Pell Grant. And I'm concerned that raising it by any significant amount could in fact affect enrollment, because if a person has to choose between going into debt in one place and not going into debt in another place, that's gonna probably make a change in some people's minds, and that's the thing I'd caution you about. And also Pell Grant money might be reduced depending on what the Fed does, in, you know, upcoming next couple of years. And then the next thing is, you know, we're talking about buying people out and encouraging retirement. And I'm very concerned that several departments in the school are experiencing like a severe attrition rate. So, and I know we're gonna have the provost come in and talk
Yeah.
about some more, and I'll grill them some more about this, but it's a dangerous problem. Currently, departments are operating, but we're looking at some departments have lost 5 or 6 staff members and then hired one. And while it's possible to fill some of that with adjuncts, that's not really a sustainable plan. And also the timing of doing the buyouts is dangerous because the season for hiring good professors is not in the middle of the year, right? So if people leave now, it's gonna be very difficult to replace them with worthwhile people for another semester. That all needs to be thought about much more carefully than I think we're doing it. And
I can assure you, we're thinking through that very much, and you have data about
because
those departments?
the teachers aren't going to leave their jobs in the middle of their school year to come and work at another college. More than likely, they're gonna finish out at least their contract here, even especially if they're adjuncts, and it's just not. It's like if you're gonna try to move apartments during certain seasons, right? Or buy a house in the middle of winter versus in the middle of the summer, what does the market look like? It's a similar thing when you're going to hire education staff because their year really runs, their busy season runs September to May, not through the summer. And then there's also like we've had a lot of discussions on campus, like what's better, like business or, you know, arts? And answering that question is less useful for the school than it initially appears to be. Because just because you could, let's say you could absolutely prove there's a better outcome from business for an individual student nationally, right, on average. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a better outcome every time, and it really doesn't mean that the schools function. Like, in other words, if I say to you, Harvard, what do? They do law school, right? And they have prestige and credit for having that law school. It's not they don't do other things there, they do. If I say Bryant, it's business school. Schools build their reputation by having an excellent department. And this school has done it through its teaching program. We're known to be a school across the entire region. And so the School of Arts is like super important here. If we let it collapse or try to replace it with something else, we become like a McDonald's that tries to sell you a laptop. Like we put ourselves in a weird position where we're damaging the thing that we're known for. And like it's fine to expand, but to replace is very, very, very dangerous in the long run.
Yeah.
And so like, and the problem that scares me is School of Arts departments are probably some of the most attritioned at the school right now. Like we're hurting it. And I don't think that's a good move for the future. And it scares me, it worries me, because I like this school. I got 3 majors here. It's my second time coming here. I came here back in 2010 previously. My mother graduated from here. I mean, it's an important part of my life and my family's life. And it scares me.
Dr. Warner? To respond to Marcus.
Well, I'm not sure that there's a response. That was a speech. I'm not
It kind of
sure
was.
there's a question in there. Is there a question in there?
I'm wondering why we're pushing the school in these directions. Like why
What direction would that be?
are we attritioning departments?
Attritioning departments.
Yeah, okay, so if I have 7 people to do a job one day, and then the next day I have 4, and we don't replace the other people, that's attritioning a department. It affects its functionality, it affects the number of students it can take, it affects its ability to expand. And we're doing it across schools of arts. We're doing it in many places in the school. At the same time, we're building an additional, like we built the science center, right? So we're expanding one department shrinking another, and it's outside the actual thing our school is known for, which is the School of Arts. Right? So like we can make individuals say like, what's better, arts or business? We can answer that question. It's not necessarily the best answer for Rick. And it's not necessarily a wise idea to compete with other institutions around us that have those niches filled instead of showing maximum success in the one we're known.
Well, I think some of your argument relies on the assumption that we are shrinking departments, when in fact it's students deciding where they want to enroll that determines whether a department is thriving through enrollment or not. We are not saying.
It's partially true, but part of it is people might want to move out because their ability to continue through the major is affected by where they can go. Like how much of it is a environment shapes your decision? In other words, two similar departments, right? Justice studies and political science, right? Political science doesn't have a master's program, but justice studies does. Maybe I can't afford to go get a master's degree at Bryant later or Brown, so I decide to go to one department over the other because I'm gonna continue my do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's a reality for a lot of people.
What I would say in response is that we look carefully at where students are selecting where they want to go. There was a period of time when this institution enrolled about 10,000 students. 40% of that enrollment was lost, and it was not lost evenly as students decided to abandon some programs almost entirely and fill up other programs in the process. So when that sort of things happen, then positions need to get reallocated to where the students are actually enrolling. So that's our barometer for whether a program is going to get invested in. First question is, does it have students? How many students does it have? How many professors are needed to serve the students enrolled in that program so that they're properly served? So, because sometimes I hear narratives that Department X had 40 people, 20 years ago, and now it has only 25. Well, during that same period, that department lost 40% of its enrollment. So of course you wouldn't have 40 people staying there because you serve the students that actually enrolled. So we watch carefully where students are actually enrolling. And some programs are in higher demand than other programs. Some programs struggle to get enrollment. Some courses struggle to get enrollment. In other areas, the courses are oversubscribed. And we monitor things like the productivity of the faculty in each department. So that gives us a clue where to allocate the resources that we have. How many students are being served? How many courses are being taught? So we rely on where students are telling us they want the resources invested. And if we do reallocate, it's from an area of low demand to an area of high demand.
So when you make those allocations.
I'm gonna call a point of order, just because we've slowly trickled over 8 o'clock. Thank you for bringing up these concerns. Thank you for addressing these concerns. I think some good communication there. I don't want to keep you here too late, Dr. Warner.
It's not past my bedtime yet.
Not yet. Are we getting close?
Getting close.
Yeah, maybe past. We got some other stuff on the agenda tonight.
I know
So
you do.
with that being said, thank you for coming in. Thank you for addressing Parliament. And let's give President Warner a round of applause. Well, up next is open forum. No one is here for open forum. So we're gonna move on to officers' announcements. Up first is President DiGregorio.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again, President Warner, for coming. It's always a pleasure to have you here. So for my announcements, I'd first like to announce that for the first time in I don't remember how long, since maybe before COVID, cabinet meetings are back. So I'd like to thank my chief of staff, Jamie Goldberg, for starting those up again. It's really exciting. The idea that we have behind it is that we want our cabinet to be like a mini e-board that also has decision-making power and can recommend us certain things based off of our agenda. So we're very excited about those starting up again. Again, we've been working with Mike Ward on the no frills. That's coming very close. I'm sure you'll have more to say about that. The presidential forum happened, and I would like to thank Representative Mann, Vice President Sullivan, Speaker Tomini, and Secretary Colonis for being at the forum. We always appreciate SCG presence at these events. It's really important for us to have our faces out there and getting involved in things on campus, so that students can see us and know that we're representing them. I also had a meeting today with the faculty union president about some of the concerns you guys were bringing up about the retirement thing, and also talking about what was brought up at last meeting about starfish and how any professor can see your grades. It turns out that you can actually see a lot more than just your grades, which I learned today. I got to see it myself, and they can see like your demographics, they could see your information. It's quite invasive, I would say. So I'm gonna be working on that and meeting with the right people to make sure that we can get that issue ironed out. Next, some updates on programming, because programming and our other stipend orgs, I'd say, because so for programming, they've kind of been burdened with a lot of work that we don't believe that they deserve to be burdened with. So we're gonna be re-looking at that contract and meeting with them to go over that, to potentially iron out some of those things. And then for stipend orgs, we plan on, and maybe Miguel or someone else will talk about this in their announcements, but we plan on having retreats for stipend orgs to make sure that they're properly trained and that we all have relationships with the organizations that we're paying. Next up, I'd like to announce that I'm trying to figure out a Dawn committee with Mike Ward. So if anyone is interested in that, please let me know. Representative Russell is the first one that's going to be on there because he's been advocating for this for a while now. I also had a meeting with the Campus Master Plan Committee. Just once again, a lot of really cool things coming out of that. We have a whole timeline of when everything is supposed to happen. I'm sure once things start to get more official, I'll be able to give out more information than that. But it's very cool stuff coming out of there. Vice President Sullivan and I met with Rick Council to present the executive summary that Speaker Tomini made for us, which we'll talk about more later. But we got a lot of really positive feedback on that, and people were really interested to see what the findings of last year's annual survey were. And Deputy Speaker Doyle is working on getting the info from past surveys for advising, because I saw some interest in more information on advising. And then lastly, I'd just like to shout out some Parliament members. Firstly, I'd like to shout out Representative Mann. He's been very involved recently in committee, and he's been showing up to the office a ton, and it's really great to see Parliament members being involved like that. I seriously suggest and recommend you all do similar things, because it's really great to see when Parliament members rise to the occasion and make something of their role. I'd also like to shout out some committees and committee work that I've been seeing. Elections Commission has been doing a lot of really good work. We have a really cool policy that we're looking at today. SOC has also been incredible. Sorry, Marina's not here right now, but they've been doing great work. And then Finance Commission, I also want to shout out. They've been delegating a lot of tasks. It's been really interesting to see the way Treasurer Hoyos has been running that committee. So that's all I have for my announcements.
Thank you. Vice President Sullivan?
Hi, how are y'all doing? Oh my God.
We're doing great, Tess. How are you?
Great, thank you, Marcus. Okay, so I have a couple notes. I appreciate you all being here. I realize that it's getting rough with finals coming up, but I appreciate you all sticking through. Also, just want to give everybody a pat on the back for all the work we have done this semester. There's so many of you, and we have done a lot of work, and so it's really like give yourself a pat on the back for just being here. Okay, my things. I have so many. Concert. Big things coming. Contract is in motion. Been putting in a lot of work and kind of going off the like gratitude, what Dante was saying, shout out to my committee. You guys have been working your butts off. I appreciate you so much. It's been a really hard feat, but I'm getting a lot of good work out. And I'm gonna need eventually some volunteers. I don't know if I can release the date yet, but know that next semester around March, maybe after spring break, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, just keep your weekends kind of open if you're open to the idea of volunteering for the concert. Now, PR, here are my tasks for you all. Can you all make sure that you follow us on, that's if you take nothing out of my announcements, please follow us on the account, and just keep active engagement on our posts. That's like commenting, liking, sharing. If you post to your story, that's a share. That just gets more students to follow us, or we can post more resources. So that would be great. And with that, another way, if you want to go even further, is that the PR committee and I, another shout out, we came with the idea to do a takeover. And so I have this sheet I'm gonna pass around, and this is gonna be, I'm gonna send this around, and if you sign up for a day, that day you're gonna do a takeover on our Instagram story, and you'll be like, hi, I'm Judy, and I'm posting from my day. I'm doing environmental club things. You know what I mean? Just like post out your day and just being like, this is what it's like being a RIC student, and I'll just show like how you can be active on campus. So that'd be really cool. Please don't steal this pen. I'm gonna start shagging.
It's my pen.
That was still Dante's pen.
Yeah.
Okay, other things. Another idea we had was we're gonna do a logo competition. Oh my god. We're gonna do a logo competition. Dante already has a draft of what he wants to submit, but start thinking of ideas. We're gonna start it over winter break. So if you can start, if you want to compete, or if you have graphic design friends who would want to compete, have them start thinking of ideas over break. That's when we're gonna have people have time to make that. So that's really cool. It's coming up. Mission statement, electric boogaloo. We're gonna try that again. I'm gonna look at what we did last year, make some edits, look at our minutes. So that'll be cool. And then sign up. Last thing, if you have your laptop, take it out right now. I need you all to open up RIC Connect and then look up RIC SCG.
Tess, wasn't RIC Connect down today? Is it back?
So it's
now?
up.
Okay. Sorry.
It's back, it's back.
Once you go on RIC Connect and you look up RIC SCG, you're gonna join as a member. Just, it should be like, or you can request to become a member. Either way, just look up RIC SCG and join it on RIC Connect. Because then that'll be a good roster for us to use, and it'll give you a lot of numbers, and then everyone's gonna want to join. They'll be like, wow, they're so cool.
So it was like.
All right, so while you're all doing that, I'm gonna keep this ball rolling. Just listen while I talk. So elections, we're gonna have that policy go through. A lot of changes. Please start thinking of ask up all the questions. I feel really confident in it. I would love to answer your questions about it, and we can work through it. And then my last one is about RIC Council. So Dante mentioned that we went to the RIC Council meeting on Friday, super well. We're gonna go again on Friday with Speaker Tomini and President Gregorio, and we're just gonna talk about it. So it's mostly what I'm hearing a lot of feedback on is about advising. So if you have anything else from your experience about advising you'd like to tell us, that'd be greatly appreciated. And make sure you're all doing that, and then once you're done, lock back in and pay attention to where it's after me. All right.
Are we looking at, Tess?
If you go on RIC Connect and you look up student community government.
Yes, I'm here, but what are we looking for?
Yeah, if you can go to, I think, I can't see the other view, but I think you can just request to join. I think you also might be good
I
out.
think you're already.
Yeah, you're good out.
I invited pretty much everyone on the roster, so if you didn't get an invite, then it might just be.
And I think you're a member too, not an advisor. I'm gonna try and fix that. All right.
Let's do the members,
Accepting people.
Sorry.
our favorite members.
You're hilarious.
All right, I yield the floor to Speaker Tomini.
Okay, thank you. Next, we're gonna hear from Secretary Colonis.
I have one big announcement. That is the holiday party. Please RSVP if you would like to attend. It's Tuesday, Sunday night. At Ryan Street, right down the street. You guys will just RSVP on the Microsoft calendar invite and fill out the Microsoft form. I know it's very tedious. That's all I have to do there. There is an ugly sweater contest, you can win $50 on gift card. Yeah, so. Oh, one more announcement, you'll see on the agenda that there's 2 constitutions, we're not gonna see either one tonight, unfortunately, so. You'll see this form that we passed out, they're not for it. You can either save it, we're gonna discuss it next time, or I'll just print out more, whatever you choose, but yeah, I'm gonna throw that to the other.
Thank you. Representative Ballesteros, did you have a question?
Questions, there was just a minor question about the.
Holiday party?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
how much does it cost?
no, I'm.
Okay, thank
Free dinner.
you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Next.
wait.
Oh,
You said we had to fill out 2 things for the holiday party. I already RSVP'd, and can I bring my husband?
Plus ones.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Treasurer Hoyos, your announcements?
All right, hello, everyone. So I wanted to let you all know that, we officially moved $30,000 from escrow, which is SCG savings, into the general fund for the finance commission to give to clubs. So that's kind of helping with our budget. I'm gonna give a budget report later this meeting. I'm doing that monthly. I did it a month ago, so now I'm doing it again tonight. That's what Ben amended the agenda to. And then Finance Commission is having a special meeting next Wednesday, which there was no meeting planned, but we're having one now. We're gonna discuss a cap of how far we're willing to go past our budget, and we're gonna have policy discussion and draft policies in that meeting. We're also going to do our first audit. So we're gonna have a club come and present their finances and kind of argue their case to us. And then we're gonna decide what to do. This is our first time auditing a club. So I'll let you know how that goes after that happens. Clubs that came to sales training last Friday will get access to Canva Pro. We just got a list of the clubs who attended, and it's gonna go, I believe, on their organization emails. And they'll have to sign something before they get access, saying that they won't do anything that's outside of good student conduct with the Canva Pro subscription. And clubs that come to future cell trainings will get access as well. So if people ask you guys about it, because it is SCG's account, they will get it for free if they just come to cell trainings. And this is for clubs. And then, like Dante said, with the spring retreat for stipend orgs, I'm gathering everyone's availability from the 6 stipend clubs. And we're gonna have a meeting before the spring semester starts to kind of align our missions, because we're the biggest clubs on campus and we get paid to do our jobs. So we should be working together to do the best that we can do. Thank you. I yield the floor back to Speaker Tommy.
thank you. I'm gonna go over leaves, and then I got 1 or 2 announcements. So first up, William Dempsey requested a late leave. He was attending a work meeting from 5 to 7, and for a little bit later, and he expected to arrive by 8:15, and he arrived before, so shout out to Will. So I'm seeking a motion to approve William Dempsey's late leave. Motion by Representative Goldberg, second by Representative Russell, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. Next up is Alexandra Howlett. She also requested a late leave. She's at rehearsals for Rick's choral concerts this weekend. She expects to arrive between 8:30 and 9. So I'm seeking a motion to approve Alexandra Howlett's. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Late leave. Motion by Vice President Sullivan.
Yes.
You were next. Seconded by President DiGregorio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passed. Next is Donovan Johnson. He requested late leave. He had some family matters to attend to. He expected to arrive by 7:30, and he did. So I'm seeking a motion to approve Donovan Johnson's late leave. First, or motion by Representative Reed, second by Representative Seguin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Up next is Perry Levis. She requested an early leave. She's gotta go take care of her dogs. So,
Totally true.
Shay, if you oppose that, you know, we know you're not a dog person, so I'm seeking a motion to approve. This is early leave for you first. Motion by Deputy Speaker Doyle, seconded by Representative Goldberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passed. Up next is Tamia Smith. She requested a leave. She had some corporate work meeting that she had to attend in conflict with Parliament tonight, so she could not be here. So I'm seeking a motion to approve Tamia Smith's leave. Josh, which motion by Representative Ballesteros, second by Representative Seguin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And lastly is Olivia Barone. She requested a leave, but she's feeling under the weather and couldn't make it. So I'm seeking a motion to approve Olivia Barone's leave. Motion by Secretary Colonis. And I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so I don't think I can. Budzina, second by Representative Budzina. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that was all the leaves for tonight. I think I've just got one announcement. So yeah, I wrote the executive summary with some help from Jack Doyle, President Gregorio put me on task. And then with Lucas's help, he put it up on the website so you all can access it. So go to our SCG website and it's somewhere under the files section. And you can look at the executive summary from last year's annual survey. I think that's all I got. So Deputy Speaker Doyle, it's your turn.
All right, besides anything, Deputy Speaker wise, just now, as of the last 5 minutes, we have a member of Wixon. So I'm gonna go over that. Member of Wixon. Anyway, for conditioning services, Friday, we are having our committee meeting. That's gonna be from 2 to 3. Still looking for more Parliament members if anybody's interested. You're taking whoever we can get, non-Parliament as well, if you got friends that don't want to do Parliament. Got some good topics, but then want specific survey questions, we can ask for lounges. Judy's got something to say, but we'll get there, I promise. We're talking about the town hall overview and prep, because we were supposed to have a town hall today. If you notice that Dante, he was talking about how great certain committees are, he didn't. We're supposed to have a town hall today and we didn't, but only because we're not ready for a town hall. We did this data with the sticky notes or whatever and wanted to do like, if you had a magic wand, what would you fix it, Rick? All that data didn't come in properly. There was like, we lost some sticky notes and all this. We want to do it right, so there wasn't a town hall today. Other topics we'll be talking about is our yearly surveys and the mini surveys. We want to format questions properly. And we just make sure we need more Parliament members and non-Parliament members. Other than that, that's all we got. It was supposed to be town hall today. That is going to be rescheduled. Judy's got something.
Yeah, go ahead.
So quick, I just want to say, very excited to be part of this committee. I have a Friday class that overlaps with PR and your committee, so I haven't been able to make it. But I'm wondering if there was anything we could do, maybe communication wise over email, if we can do things, if we can't go to the meetings, if we can help out, maybe just like letting us know.
Away, absolutely.
Just like, cause I'd love to help, but I can't, I know other people can't go too, but just wondering if we could like.
I'm gonna attach in all our emails, everything. Okay.
Thank you. Got anything else?
No, I gotta pass that back to.
I did yield it to you, so you're good.
Whatever,
All right. So next on our agenda is constitutions. So don't be disappointed, Turning Point USA did not show tonight. And Anchor TV, they also had to reschedule. So I'm seeking a motion to table Turning Point USA's constitution approval. Okay, guys, to our next meeting, which is December 3rd. Motion by Representative LaRose, second by Representative Russell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
We had discussion.
Oh. No, you're
Okay.
correct.
So
Walk it back.
is this the third meeting that they missed?
Second meeting.
All right, how many meetings until they can't be brought? Cause
They just keep going on the agenda.
It's 3, correct?
Send pause. Okay.
Send pause.
Send pause. Okay. So. Representative, Vice President Sullivan.
Did they give a reason for their absence?
They are sick. Their president was sick.
They said they were gonna send representatives and then they didn't. You did, but that's the problem.
Their president was sick. They were to send 2 representatives and.
Representative Goldberg.
I just, because I did think this was the 3rd time, because when we were all out, to just not even put on the agenda that week, I think it was supposed.
We were
Yeah.
waiting on their letter.
Okay, so it was.
No, it was never.
Okay, Representative Ballesteros.
Got asked just out of morbid curiosity, like, is it representatives that are like students, or is it just like? Cause I saw like the email and I thought like it said Pete, somebody that was like the leader, so like the organization, not the leader for your organization, but like somebody, I was confused, sorry.
Yeah, was it just gonna be student representatives that were planning on coming?
I guess so.
Yeah.
They could have best if they weren't, if they were.
I might have misread the email, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more discussion? Vice President Sullivan?
Not to put more work on your plate, but I think this is an important thing to notice in meeting. So they didn't give a reason for their leave or why they didn't could make today. This might be an important moment to be like, let's put that in policy that if you're not going to make it, if you're like a club or an organization, you have to give a leave, just like we all have to. I don't know if that would make sense, but that's just an idea.
Representative Mann?
I concur with Vice President Sullivan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more discussion? Going once, going twice. All right. I'd like to, the second time, seek a motion to table Turning Point USA for our next meeting, December 3rd. Motion by Representative Goldberg, second by Representative Reed. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, passed. We're gonna move on to reports. Up first is the Hope Scholarship Report from Vice President Sullivan. That's you.
Hi, I'm talking a lot this meeting. Okay.
Speakers.
So I had my second Hope Committee meeting today. So there's the 3 main pathways. It's pathways, advising and Hope. I'm on the Hope one. And so the way they start the first meeting is kind of like, this is how we're gonna run a meeting, it's everyone's roles. So the first meeting we weren't really able to get into the meat and bones of the content, but today we were, which was really interesting. But a lot of what we talked about was that they're looking at marketing within our like institution rather than outward marketing. So it's how do we market towards faculty mainly, not even students as much, it's like how do we market the Hope Scholarship to faculty and have them like, because they're the ones who are doing the advising, they're the ones who are putting students on the right track. And so we talked about that a lot today. And I'll have more updates about that, probably about how we all can help. We might have someone from the Hope Scholarship come and explain to us more about it so that we are representatives of the student body. We should know the most about the Hope Scholarship. So if someone asks us, we can have those answers. So yeah, not like, we just had a lot of ideas today, nothing set in stone, but watch out for a lot more Hope stuff and just keep interacting with it as we see it. I yield the floor back to Speaker Tommy.
Okay, thank you. Now we're gonna hear from Lucas Weber. He's gonna go over his Academic Technology Committee report. Lucas Weber.
Perfect, thank you. So I just have a couple of things for our meeting a couple of weeks ago. A couple of things we talked about. Mainly we talked about accessibility for online content in Blackboard. And there was a Fix Your Content Day that was led by the Blackboard team here at Rick for professors. So that was yesterday. Hopefully professors took advantage of that. We also talked about use of Copilot and the fact that we're going to create some policy surrounding it and its usage here at Rick. As everyone knows, we have Microsoft and Copilot is sort of involved in all of that. So we're going to get ready to plan for that. We're going to create an AI statement as well on the college's stance on AI and the use of AI checkers. And then last but not least, we're working with IT to get some cameras installed in some classrooms to comply with legislative requirements. So, any questions on technology, feel free to reach out to me and I'll bring it up to you. Yes.
Representative Levis?
I just had a question for Tess. So one, Tess, I thought your question for President Warner was awesome. And I think it should be brought up again, not only to President Warner, because I think it is a question about, I was here before Hope and now Hope, and I think that it's a question of, it's a scholarship. Not everyone has this scholarship. And we're one community at Rhode Island College made up of lots of different smaller communities, but it's not only about Hope. And so I think that your questioning was really important, and also the way in which that you're trying to represent lots of different communities in relationship to Hope is also super important. So I hope that you continue to bring that type of questioning to the committee that you're on, because I think it's really important.
I gotta give credit to Lady, the DEI coordinator. She's incredible. She's the one that brought it up and I've been thinking about it all day. So I will give credit where credit's due, but.
Yeah, I love it. So, but yeah, I think it's really important. So thank you for bringing that to President Warner.
Thank you. Sorry I missed you,
No,
Professor Levis.
no worries, no.
Being slow, guys, just yell at me, all right? Representative Sonia? I knew I was gonna mess up the last name.
Lucas, I just wanna know what kind of camera?
So in a lot of our classrooms, so like the camera you see above you, some legislative requirements are, there's some pregnancy legislation, so just to be accessible to all students. The fact that some classrooms were installing cameras just so that some students can just also be in class too and have those accessibility needs.
Thank you. Representative Payne?
Touching on the camera topic, so we have the short-term, long-term solutions for that plan, so to be in compliance with the federal law and the statutes, what we usually do, we have a portable camera that we set up in the meanwhile, short-term, long-term solutions. Obviously, our long-term solutions are the higher profile, higher quality stuff, as you see in this room, ceiling cameras, ceiling mics. Yes, they have privacy buttons installed in the classrooms. I know privacy was brought up at one point as well. So just to let everyone know that we are going with that, advocating for that, completing that, but we're having the privacy option still installed.
Yes, thank you. Are there any more questions for Lucas Weber? I don't see anyone's card, so Treasurer Hoyos, go over your finance budget report. All right. We got it.
So Gita's gonna pull up the magic number here. And we've been tracking the money we've been giving to clubs. That big, all the numbers on the left are what we've given out this semester so far. The number at the top, we're 24,581 past where we should be, honestly, but it's not like the end of the world. We're working on money that we collected last year. So this 24,000 is coming out of what we're collecting this year in student activity fee. So we have that kind of safety net, but like I mentioned at our last meet or during my announcements, the Finance Commission is setting a cap of how much we're willing to go into next year's budget. That 30,000 that Nikita highlighted is the escrow. So that number at the top is including the 30,000 that we took out of savings to give to clubs. And then the table in the top middle of the screen compares the last 2 years' falls allocations to clubs, which is money that we said yes to give to clubs. Something important to note is that the college gave SCG a lot of money those 2 years. So they were working with more money to begin with. And yeah, so that's kind of skews those numbers. The 290,000 also includes all the money for the concert. So 140,000 of that was not spent. And that went into our savings as well. And we're hopefully using most of that this year for the concert. Because that is a big thing that has been in the works for years.
Okay. Representative Kane?
Question about the escrow. So SCG Inc., I know private 501c3 nonprofit organization. Do you have that in high interest savings accounts? And or would you
It's in our
consider?
regular citizens saving account with the college, that is actually managed by
Managed
accounting.
So we don't have an option to try to move it
Yeah,
into
so-
something that has higher
Joan
interest, right?
doesn't, none of these folks do have the ability to like manage, I cannot like log into our bank.
Right. I just didn't know if you could inquire about, if you could put escrow in a higher interest savings account, you could get more money for the student body. And while it's Citizens Bank and you may not have any control over that, I would understand. Just like a topic suggestion.
I will ask about that. Something that I'm pushing for us to get is like e-payments. We don't have like access to like a bank account, so like no Venmo, no anything. So I will bring that up in my discussion. Good idea.
Thank you. Are there any more questions for Treasurer Hoyos? Going once. Going twice. Okay. We are gonna move on to new business then. Up first is Vice President Sullivan, and she's gonna go over the elections policy revisions. Do some discussion.
Yeah.
I yield the floor to you.
So I'm gonna start off with some context. So this is kind of what we've been talking about since the beginning of the year of making the student body vote, making it go from just parliament votes for the executive council and instead go to the student body vote. This is because everyone pays for the student activity fee, so everyone should be able to vote on how the money, who's in charge of where the money goes. That's not what the whole policy is about, but that's the main part of it. And as we go through it, please feel free to ask me questions. My committee and I work really hard on it, and again, thank you to the Elections Commission for working through this. Okay, let's start. So the first one, it would be Article 1. Joan, the best person ever, she informed me that we don't have, the Elections Commission policy didn't have a breakdown of what its membership would look like and what the duties were. So this would be clarifying that and adding that to the first article of our policy. So please look through it real quick. Okay, is there any discussion on this article?
Are you asking us to review the whole thing? No.
I'm just doing it article by article.
Okay.
Because not all of it was just by vote, and I'd rather pass the stuff, like make sure the stuff that should get passed. Good, Chris.
So we're on 1.01 or the whole article 1?
Oh, I was thinking of doing the whole article 1.
Change something.
The whole thing.
Oh, the whole.
Yeah. The whole article 1 right now, but we can break it down if you wanted to. We'll start with article section 1.1. There's no discussion.
So we look here, it's like, so the parliament petition, there's still done by petition.
Yes.
Treasurer Hoyos?
For section 1.02D,
Mhm.
The same thing as the SOC policy. Can we just amend it to add, consisting of 10 parliament members? Cause right now it sounds like if somebody were to read over this, it sounds like 15 committee members and 10 parliament members and 5 non-parliament.
Yes. What was the language you used? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just single.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Trigger voice.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, so I'd like to, taking a motion to approve Article 1 with the amendment, thank you. Article 1, with the amendment to section 1.02D, including consisting of next to, 10 parliament members. First by Representative LaRose, seconded by Representative Swin, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. I'm so back. This is awesome. Okay, campaigning. This is, we're changing around that. This is more about the second part in section 2.2E. It's saying that if the elections, it's kind of clarifying what happens if someone is disqualified from the elections. It originally was kind of like a hard, you're disqualified. It also said that you're only disqualified from a class organization, not just organizations in general. So we're changing it, so it says you're, to organizations. We're also clarifying that what will be evaluated, as well as how the consequence would be. Also added a lot more clarity with this, with explaining campaigning and clarifying in section 2.2 what features are protected. So over.
Literally just think of this, I don't know this is, what is religion during campaigning? Like what it exists.
So it'd just be, you can't use your religion to persuade someone to join and be like, God, today, I mean. Treasurer Hoyos.
This is, I don't know if this is like a thing that we have to change, but it says in section 2.02B, speeches as described of section 2.05 of this policy. Is that normal to say this policy, or can we change it to say the elections policy?
We can just do the elections.
Okay, thank you. Whatever this policy is called.
We say this policy in section 1.01. So we'd have to be consistent, right?
And. Yeah. That's a good point. Is there more discussion on changing it from this policy to like this policy? Okay. So I'd like to make, I'm seeking a motion to approve well, okay. I do. I'm seeking a motion to approve the amended. That would be changing it to say this, to say elections policy instead of this policy. First by Representative Reed, seconded by Representative Ballesteros. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the amendment is passed. In section 2.2B, it'll say election policy instead of this policy. We can move on now to. Oh. Okay. Section 1. Oh. Okay. Moving on to section 2.1, time of the elections. This is to clarify this is the first mention in the policy about changing it to the whole student body vote. So this is saying that we will hold the just for executive council, I also want to clarify that this is going to be a student body vote only for the executive council, should be president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Deputy speaker and speaker would still be voted on by parliament members. So the executive council would be held 2 Wednesdays before the conclusion of April. And then also just putting in a policy so that it's reminded. And then clarifying when the parliament office won, and then that sign out will be conducted the Wednesday thereafter before the conclusion of the spring semester, and that's when the elections of the executive council will be announced. Signed up. Discussion. Pretty big policy. No one's got any words?
On order now.
Okay, if there's no discussion.
Wait, that's not,
Wait,
well,
Member Hoyos?
that's not enough time for us to read this whole
I-
thing. There's a lot of changes in here.
Just looking at the section.
Yeah, the retreat is section 2.
Oh, we're just doing purely one section at a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a big.
Okay, thank you.
Three point oh one.
Representative Weber?
For 3.1 part B.
Mhm.
It says should ensure a midweek reminder. Could you clarify that? Because if elections are considered Wednesday, when is like midweek?
Right, that would usually be a weekend. We could clarify it be Friday or the Monday. I feel like the Monday would probably be better as more students are more likely to look at their email. Getting a lot of nods.
Yeah, it's a good assumption.
Okay,
Which Monday?
there'd only be one Monday.
Yeah, there's only one Monday that falls in that time for that.
Yeah, I thought it's
secure.
It just says it
We're
says,
doing it on Bridge Connect.
yeah. The election would be on Connect, and then the reminder would be whatever the PR committee invite.
But we're not setting up.
They could if they want to. Later in the policy, I talked about how if there's people don't have access to technology. CGL.
Right, but they can't see change should be, like, in other words, the candidates can't set up the polling
That's
station,
clarified, yeah.
and that's forbidden in here.
Mhm.
Which is, but like, shouldn't SCG have a requirement to set up polling stations like somewhere that's public, like Donovan or something, so that way people can meander in.
I just don't know who would look at those polling stations, like who would monitor them.
Somebody who's not running.
Well, all day though, like goes the whole time period,
With the gals, right?
not all day.
It's just during the free period.
Students don't have time like that.
Professor maybe, or.
I think same problem. They wouldn't have time. I also feel like it takes it away from its student community government. I feel like, and love our professors, but it would take away from that aspect, I think.
Representative LaRose, do you have something to add?
Oh, I just have a question for Tess, or sorry, Vice President Sullivan. Excuse me if I missed it. I wasn't in SCG for the elections last year. Very interested in running. I was wondering if there was any rules against like social media campaigning. Are you allowed to run your campaign and use?
The campaigning policy that's right above this, it kind of clarifies what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
And it's just unfair campaigning is what you
Yeah.
can't do, which is the bribery and stuff. But
Yeah, I
social
won't
media
run.
campaign would be election.
Thank you.
Representative Fayette?
In 3.01 B, it says sign that will be conducted the Wednesday thereafter before.
Okay,
D.
3.01 D.
Yes.
Oh,
oh,
Wednesday thereafter.
so just eliminate thereafter? Yes. Good idea. there more discussion, any more discussion on section 3.1, title voting? 3.01 title elections. President Dempsey?
For part C, why don't you say, just so it seems less confusing, why don't you say the election of polling officers shall be held Wednesday before sign die? That's in the conclusion screen, Joyce, why don't you say the Wednesday before sign die, you have the election, and then sign die is the Wednesday before the conclusion of semester.
Okay.
I guess like, if we're doing the election entirely online. I question the logic of like, why it has to be one given day between certain hours, why don't we just make it a week of? Or, do you know what I'm saying? Like, why limit, like, in other words, elections happen, election day is a process that's a single day because of all the effort we need for polling stations and all of that. So to like give people the most time and accessibility, why don't we just make it like a longer time span?
It's for a week.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Where is that in here? Spot.
No, that's fair. It says, it should be, the election student executive council shall be held 2 Wednesdays before the conclusion of April, starting at 9 AM and ending the last Wednesday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. I understand.
Can we amend it to say that it begins 2 Wednesdays before? What does it say? It says shall be held.
Right, that's what made me feel like it was a single day event. But you're right, if I read it carefully, it is clear, but it's, yeah.
So amend day begins instead of held.
Yeah.
So quick, if you run and you say like became vice president or president, if you're, because I know you run the PR committee, would you kind of inherit those committees and continue to run them? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I I'm seeking a motion to amend the policy, sorry. With changing the language to say, that it should begin 2 Wednesdays before the conclusion of April in section 3.01 A. Can I get a motion for that amendment? First by Representative Mann, seconded by Representative Goldberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, an amendment has passed. Moving on to, where's the there? In section 3.01 C, where it says the election of Parliament officer shall be held 2 Wednesdays before the conclusion of the spring semester. We're gonna change the language to instead say shall be held the Wednesday before sign die. Can I get a motion to approve that amendment? First by Representative Russell, seconded by Representative Logan, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. All right, last one, can I get a motion to approve, in section 3.01 B, instead of saying Wednesday thereafter before, just getting rid of thereafter. First by Representative Reed, seconded by Representative Mann, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Passed. Can I get a motion to approve the amended section 3.01? First by Representative Russell, seconded by Representative LaRose. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, moving on. Eligibility. So this is my favorite one that we're changing because this is changing the reason why I got elected. So it used to be that you could just join Parliament, get your petition approved, and then run that same day. What I did, but this is saying that you have to attend 5 meetings before it runs. If we're opening it up to the body, or it might be interested in joining, this would allow people who are very passionate about doing student government and wouldn't create what could be a popularity contest. Is there any discussion on this? Representative Russell.
I just have a clarifying question. It's like 5 like meetings in general, like the whole time I've been on Parliament, right?
5, yeah,
Okay.
Treasurer Williams, sorry.
Uh. What do you guys think about 5 meetings? Do you think that's a good number? Do you think that's a lot or a little?
Representative Mann?
I think that works, just because they're not the, I mean, it's like, it's consistent, but like, how many have we had?
There's 7 in a semester.
So I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Personally.
Thank you.
Jacob, wouldn't that create a situation where freshmen can't possibly get a position?
No.
No.
Because if there's 7 in a semester, even if they start next semester, they would still do 5 in the spring.
Right, but that would only mean that they could only be elected as a sophomore.
Oh, that's how it is now. Yeah, that's how it is.
That's still how it is?
That's how it is right
That's
now.
okay. This is-
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true, because if we've had 7 meetings, if there were to be a vacancy. And a freshman had been to all
This is
7
also true.
meetings,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, this is
Am I
true.
getting that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if Ben decided to suddenly leave, a freshman could run for his position, yeah. But I'm not saying, I'm not making against you.
That's my rule, right?
No one, Representative Weber.
So for 3.02, where it says the declaration of candidacy. How did, I see the exact same thing in 3.03, I know that's not highlighted, but. Declaration of candidacy is also like, it says 12 noon and the 9.
In what?
The section right beneath it.
You say 3.03?
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I think I'm looking at different.
Am I looking at this one? Oh, yeah, it's on the.
Oh, I'm here. Oh.
Oh. I'll show test. Oh, wait, did you find it?
I think I scrolled too far, but I think it's the same one.
So, sorry, what's your question?
The 3.03 mentions the same declaration period as 3.02.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Oh, okay. I will take that to my committee. Thank you. I'll take that to my committee. What is it, 3.3?
3.03.
Okay. And then do we want to wait to make the amendment until that one's also amended, or do we want to make the amendment tonight? Is there any discussion on that? Treasurer Hoyos?
I mean, can't we just remove 3.03 and update the rest of them? Because they're saying the same thing, it's just 3.02 is the updated one.
Oh, I just called it. Got it. So the motion would be to approve 3.2 and also eliminate 3.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say the same thing.
Yeah,
That must have just been put in as like the old one.
so then, yeah, okay. So this continued discussion with 3.02, is there any other discussion with trigger ways?
Sorry, so we're planning, like, we're hoping to make new parliament positions. So can we specify that this is for e-board and officer positions, because that would make it so that anybody who wants to become who wants to have a role on parliament, should we make those positions, wouldn't be able to unless they'd already been on for basically a whole semester. Unless you all think that that is fair. So just, I'm saying specify, it's at the end of the first sentence, it says Parliament members shall be eligible to declare for positions.
Mhm.
Instead of positions, I suggest we say executive board and Parliament officer positions.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I agree.
Okay.
Right
So
then.
I agree too. Awesome. Okay, so then can I get a motion to approve section 3.02, to approve it, to amend it to say, election, oh my gosh, executive council and parliament officers. First by Representative Rose, seconded by Deputy Speaker Doyle, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Can I get a motion to approve the amended policy? Representative Doyle, seconded by Representative Reed, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Can I get a motion to eliminate section 3.03, declaration of candidacy as the same as section 3.02? First by Representative Gregorio, seconded by Representative Rocha, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, quorum. Just specifying the difference between parliament members and elections commission. Or executive council and parliament, officers. Any discussion on it?
Say something. So this mentions quorum for the parliament officers election. Is there anywhere that states the quorum for the executive council election? There's no meeting for the executive council election.
They went into.
So if the election was not advertised and like 5 students voted, that would technically meet quorum. Are you guys okay with that? I'm not okay with that.
Meet quorum for what?
For the elections for executive council.
There's no meeting.
Right, but wouldn't they need to have, like, shouldn't we set a limit for how many people need to vote?
Well, then what do you do if not enough people vote?
What do you do if
You just don't have executive or council members?
Have a special election and advertise it better.
I don't think that's reasonable. So I say.
Okay, so if 5 people vote, as this policy stands, then those 5 people can elect the entire executive council for SCG.
Suggestion that I think made as far as like you could do with that, it's like a lot of like I've heard of different schools what they'll do is like they'll have like a percentage of the student body has to vote. Usually it's about like I've seen like 2, 3, 4, 5%. So it's like you don't have to have like a huge number, but it can't just be like 5 people against Miguel outside. Like you actually have a number of people that actually vote. And that's like at like look at least that we have like 50, 60 votes in some election, so you have like what's that like whatever's changing it's legitimate. I think it would be
More discussion. Representative Dempsey?
And then in the event that the student body election fails, this experiment fails, then Parliament would have to then be like the backup to then hold the office, have the executive elections that we've been doing traditionally. But you have to have an e-board, but the student body doesn't participate because they don't care or whatever, and fail, and this thing you guys doing fails, you have to have an e-board. So then Parliament needs to be the backup. You have to elect the e-board, we're gonna have no e-board. So you have to have a backup.
I think we could also just do another online.
What if we don't do it again? If we don't do it again?
Don't do what?
What if you do a second poll or a second election and they don't do it?
Yeah. Another concern that I think it's good to address as far as backup, but you could do the next poll, but the thing is to get that one semester time.
Representative Mann?
Yeah, so my thinking, No, is, I mean, we should try our hardest to get people to actually vote in it. You know, from people running positions and from just like SCG, you know, like I think it's not so that, you know. So to get as much people involved as possible. And then as like we bring it back.
So adding your suggestion that we add to, like you guys were suggesting that we add to this policy that if it failed, that it goes back to here.
Yeah, if it, yeah, like,
Got it. Dempsey or Jakes?
you know, I just forgot if it's how to pronounce that. Yeah. If it's like below a certain percent.
Okay. I might move to table this then, so then we can add more to that and talk about it in election commission. So I'm taking a motion to table the section 2.04 forum policy. First by Representative Mann, seconded by Representative Russell, all in favor?
Wait,
Aye.
we have discussion?
Oh, discussion over tabling. Treasurer Wise?
So we can also just amend it if we agree on a percent right now.
Yeah.
I think we should just amend it. I did a quick math and 6,500 times 2% is 130. That seems like a good bare minimum number.
I just don't know where we would add.
You added
The
that.
quorum.
But this is specifically about parliament officers. That means we have to
No, what about executive?
that
So you
not
just-
till later in the policy.
Oh, we're not even at that, this is officers. This is nothing to do with student body.
But you need a quorum to have a vote.
This
This
is
is for parliament members.
This is for holding the meeting and having the parliament officers meeting.
The parliament
Okay.
officers would be in person, like speaker, deputy speaker.
It would.
You know what I mean?
So this, what we're talking about should go in a different section of this policy?
No, this is fine.
What we're talking about should be, there should probably be a parliamentarian officer quorum policy and then an executive council quorum.
Okay.
So we could first Representative.
So I just did a quick ruling here, the lowest ever election turnout for the US, which is one of the lowest election turnouts in like the democratic voting world, was 33.9%. I don't think we should go so low. We don't get like a 20% turnout, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should just go to a parliament election. Cause that's, I mean, that is a failed election. We get 1% of the student body to vote on stuff. It's failed, right? And I'm not saying we're gonna have that problem. I feel like this board and this parliament will be fine. But in the future, what if they don't organize it? Well, we should build in a safety net in here where. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, yeah. Representative Tommy?
I would just say to that we are not the United States of America. General elections, is that what you're referring, was it a general election, a house election, it's a general election, right? I mean, borderline, people's livelihoods are not at stake, but are impacted by whoever gets into office.
Sure.
This is not that critical.
I get that. I'm just saying like what would be, what's realistic, like what happens for student body elections? What's the senior class election percentage look like? How many people vote in it?
It's a good question. I
I
don't know.
can tell you the freshman class in a
Yeah,
minute.
the freshman class is low.
Well, freshman classes, they don't know what they're doing yet. That's why I asked.
I think Ted had a response.
This is a good,
Order.
I think this is a good question to ask the network about what are your other comparative schools and other SCGs doing in terms of before you make a final decision. They may have a good rationale or poor rationale and you come up with your own, whether it's 30 or whether it's or somewhere in between. I'd look at that. Just a suggestion.
Representative LaRose?
I just wanna agree with Speaker Tomini and also Ted Zito, because I feel like looking at other colleges helps, but we are a unique institution. Rick is not like every other college. Every college is different. I think that, like Malcolm said, if we can rally as candidates and rouse the student body into being passionate about this, that's great. But we are also a commuter school and it's not always possible to get people to care about things like SCG. So I think like it should be low. It should be low if we have a limit for how many like people need to vote to elect people. But I do think that like comparing it to other SCGs is a good idea, but also like we are a commuter school. So I feel like it's worth mentioning. We're not like.
Representative Boca?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're so close, you're so close, okay. So I do agree with having like a percentage of like minimum votes and all that, and I do agree with Mr. Hoyt's like quick math that we would need somewhere around give or take 140 people voting. However, to piggyback off of what Representative, I'm gonna butcher your last name, Chatayan said, and like the election commission meeting was that I believe a survey was like sent out for like at least a week's period and they received 3 replies. So I mean, how long are we gonna wait to have those at least 140 people actually submit their opinion, you know what I mean? Like we're already discussing in here to like even try to get SCG pushed out there, and how many people do we currently have in SCG?
I don't know.
30 something, maybe
7-ish.
37, so even if all of us voted, it wouldn't be enough, you know what I mean? So you really gotta take into account those numbers, so even lowering it down to even like a 1%, that would be, he said, I think Dr. Warner said 66-45 for numbers, so that'd be like round up, or yeah, 67. Oh, bad numbers. At least 67 people to vote, so we really gotta focus on not only pushing SCG out, but making sure those numbers actually get in.
Thank you.
Exactly 37 voting members.
Alright.
President Di Gregorio?
So I understand we have a lot of opinions right now, so but I'm just trying to keep things moving forward. I think to make like a solid proposal that we can actually work with, I think we should recommend that we do a 2% vote of the student body at minimum, which is like 130 students. We absolutely should be able to do that. That shouldn't be hard at all. We got people to sign the campus master plan survey or do that and that's a survey. We got almost 150 people do that in one day. We got 600 people do the annual survey. We can do that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 2%, and then if we can't meet that for the polling, then we just do a regular election by parliament. Is gonna be my recommendation.
Right, so that's gonna be another, that's gonna be the other policy, this is just for the.
No, this is also for the other policy, but we're still talking about this policy, so that's my recommendation.
Okay, so going back to the original policy of voting for parliament officers, keeping it as 50 point plus 1. That's all those policies, it's just about parliamentarian officers. My committee will go back and we'll write quorum for executive council. So can I get a motion to approve this new updated quorum policy or quorum policy, please? First by Representative Reed, seconded by Representative Goldberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to bring creating a quorum for executive council to the elections commission meeting. First by Deputy Speaker Doyle, seconded by Representative Schumann, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. Can I amend that motion to include the policy to elections commission to include bringing a 2% quorum for executive council? First by President Di Gregorio, seconded by Deputy Speaker Doyle, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. I appreciate you all, sorry. Okay, this is the big one. This is the outline for balloting for executive council. Is there any discussion on balloting for executive session? Representative Weber?
It's, so is the balloting like anonymous, is that? And so, are we going to actually look at that they are taking more than 1 credit hour? Because there's not really a way to do this.
You have a Reconnect account, can you have a Reconnect account? Like Matt has a correct email, right?
Yeah, I have. I could make a suggestion.
Yeah.
As far as that, I do know that Joe and Kia can see as students, so it's like we have the voting.
That's well. I'm gonna make a point to that, in Reconnect, I forgot about this, create an eligibility list, and so only people who are eligible can vote in that, and so that could be that, Keita or Joan create a list of people who are eligible to vote, and only they can vote in the election, so we did freshman class. It's still anonymous, but it's only students who are eligible to do it. Is that what you're gonna say? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in order for any election to happen, I have to create an eligibility list, pull all the students. And then, like for the freshman class, I filtered it by like students who have 0 to 29 credits are considered a freshman. So I had to just include those folks. And those are the only people who could vote. So you might have been on Reconnect that day, and your Reconnect looks completely different from a freshman's, because on their homepage it said, election is live, vote now. Whereas on somebody else's, it didn't say that. So I would create that.
Thank you. Representative Mann. Oh my gosh. Representative Udena.
Okay, this is maybe like a little bit of a silly question, but if it's anonymous, how are you gonna track like who are voting once?
So, just the way that Reconnect is built, I know it sounds like it's bird because the way it is, but because of how Reconnect is, it only allows you, it tracks your email, it whether your person when you vote, you can only do it once, and with the questions.
All right, I'm just the one who set up the election and I attended all the trainings. So just for a point of clarification, I can see who voted and how many votes each candidate got, but I cannot see who voted for who. So it is anonymous mostly, but I can tell if a student voted or did not vote, but I cannot tell who they voted for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can also, what's also good about this is that if, say, I win vice president, I can't see who didn't vote for me and who voted for who. So when I'm Reconnect, when I'm Reconnect, I can't see who voted for me and who didn't vote, which is nice and keeps everybody.
So it says here that, you can't collect student ID or email or that vote is invalidated, right? If the voting's done through Reconnect, that's tied to your email, student ID, means all votes would be invalid, right? If it's done over Reconnect, you know what I'm saying? Like.
This is more specifically if like a candidate was getting people's student IDs and passwords and voting on their behalf.
Then it should specify that like somebody can't vote using someone else's information as opposed to the way do you know what I'm, just cause like as it's written. It's just odd.
We could amend and have section 3.07 say any other fraudulent activity by a candidate for use in voting is strictly prohibited and will result in immediate disqualification of votes cast.
Wait, where would that, so
activity.
In 3.07D, it says collection of student IDs and passwords or any other fraudulent activity by a candidate for use in voting is strictly prohibited and will result in immediate disqualification of the votes cast.
by a candidate, yeah, perfect.
Representative Howard?
Yeah, I think this is a great idea in theory, but I know that in practice it's been a little janky recently. Like when there was the freshman election trying to use the links, like I tried to send to like some people like in this room and it wouldn't work.
Totally fair.
So I think that it is a good idea, but we need to streamline it to make it more accessible because otherwise technology, we're all improving. So I think that's just something of note to think about.
Yeah, totally fair criticism. It was first, and yeah, it was my first time using it, and so some things will be differently. I think Nikki and I will work with it, and I'm also gonna work with Mark, who's our like Grid Connect liaison. And I think just talking to more people about how to use it more streamlined. But I agree, it was clunky, and I'll definitely learn from those mistakes, but I appreciate that. Representative Rocha?
Two different things. To clarify for that, the reason why I think it might have been janky just based on recent information is Nikita did say that the eligibility list based on it was 0 to 29 credits, correct? So it could have been that if somebody transferring in, they had a lot of extra credits. on
I
top of these
couldn't,
ones.
I couldn't vote through the link, so
I like credits like you transferred in or no?
not more than that amount. So that could be a
I
problem.
didn't know if that was like a possibility, like that they were putting eligibility just because of that. That was something that crossed my mind. The other thing was talking about not gonna say the right word, but being anonymous for your voting. We talked about how like the proxy balloting and like commission, like how that isn't necessarily like 100% anonymous, only because that's like another way to verify that somebody's not voting twice. So like you have to know that they're voting either by proxy or voting online. So that's another
Thing, yeah,
piece of information.
and the thing about those proxy ballots also wouldn't apply to this because proxy is only for in-person and that would only be for parliament officers, and this is just for executive council, so.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Levis.
So I'm gonna be the geeky prof. So if you just use the word confidential and not anonymous, then it takes care of what you're trying to do with protecting people's identity, but it's not anonymous, and so we should not use that word. We should use the word confidential, which is how, when you collect information about people's emails, it's no longer anonymous. So if we use the word confidential, when it makes it more accurate.
You're the best, thank you.
That's why you're teaching policy formation next semester.
That is.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there.
Representative Weber?
Is there any part here that in some cases if it connects goes offline like it did today? And that we can't do an online election, is there a thing of like, we can do it in person, you know what I mean, like. Online was the only option.
Yeah.
So if there, for some reason that can't be done, say like, the internet is just down for whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, Luca would fix it. It's a good question. Yeah, I
Didn't come up live again, like if it's.
I probably, yeah.
What if it never comes back?
Oh, no. There's too much money behind
SCG.
it.
Blair.
I think there's bigger problems to worry about in
The
that.
horses, yeah, right.
Representative Pacheco and then Representative or Treasurer Lewis.
So in F.
Mhm.
Of all votes cast, the winner must have won by majority. Are we talking about simple majority, 51%? Like, what if we have 3 candidates? Could you win with 34% of the vote? Like, how are we gonna handle multi-candidate elections? Majority in that case.
I was thinking of just doing it by simple majority, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that's just when you have like the most, no matter like.
That would be the most votes, it's simple majority, right? Is everybody okay with that for executive board members? Cause.
Well, I brought up in one of the elections things, like quiz voting, but then. It was part of that it was kind of iffy on Reconnect.
Also whether or not people understand.
Yeah.
It would take so long.
But
I don't think we should do it because I don't know if people would understand it or not, but it'd be harder to get it set up on Grid Connect. It's still buggy and.
Yeah. I understand. So are we just gonna do simple majority then?
Yes.
Cause like, we don't even do that for these tiny elections, right? And I don't know.
No, we do majority, we do 50% plus one.
Yeah.
Uh,
So.
I think it's just for the sake of convenience, nice that we just do whoever has the most, because then we would have to do it over and over again, and I don't feel like doing that. We know how it goes already in Parliament. Imagine on a student-wide body level, no one's gonna wanna vote anymore. We're gonna fall below 2%.
I
And
know, I get that, but even if like, so if we're at we're already going down to like 2%. before we let students, like, we're making a ceiling or a basement level there, right? Where we don't wanna crash below. And then, so like, let's say we're at the minimum, we're at like 2%. And then we have like a four-way election. Now we've got, what, how many people to choose? Like the executive board? We're down to, how many people was 2%?
It's 130.
130. Yeah. So now we're down to 32 people choose the electorate. Like, is that really an advantage over just doing a parliamentary election at that point?
I'd say so. I still think it's better to have everyone having a say. It's more votes than than I got. I didn't get 32 votes to become president. So.
Yeah, but I mean, getting 20 deeply interested people versus 30 people that are just.
I don't wanna let people vote based on whether or not they're deeply interested. I want them to vote off the fact that they pay the student activity fee.
I just wanna make sure we have an effective e-board, because like an effective e-board spends the students' money and does better activity.
Well, I mean, imagine how many of those 32 votes in that situation came from Parliament.
Yeah, probably a good number of them.
It's also the eligibility, I think, protects from it being an ineffective keyboard.
Yeah, that's true too. That's fair.
How does it explain, like, nothing about, just explain again about the like the voter, like ID type thing, like how do you know who's a student voting, like, you know, you go to like a regular election, whether it's like on Rhode Island, whether it's voter ID, whether you actually go to the poll and show your ID to vote, or a mail-in ballots, you have, like, you know, they match your signature, so it's kind of like the authorization of checkpoint. How are we doing that here?
So we were talking earlier about the eligibility list, so if you get the information from admin about students who qualify, and then only those students are able to vote in the election.
And so anyone that tries that is not on the eligibility list who votes will get eliminated.
They will be able to vote, so if like, sorry Matt, if Matt wanted to vote, he couldn't vote, because he wouldn't be on the eligibility list. He can get into Connect, but he can't vote.
But if somehow the system malfunctions and he gets in and votes anyway, you guys have a thing to be able to monitor that to prefer to Nikita.
Yeah, Nikita?
Just to provide clarification, so I can pull a report on MyRent at any time, and it'll pull, it's like all of the constituents for Parliament, which is every single student. So then so those students will all be in the eligibility list. So the election will not even show up on the Connect of people who are not on the list. So if you and Matt log on the same day, same time, yours will say time for an election, vote, and his will not say that because he's not eligible. So his won't even show that there's a vote happening or that there's any sort of election.
And there's no way the system will break down and not have that.
Unless he enrolls and he shows up as a current student. Yeah.
All right.
You have to be added to that vote.
All right, there's been a lot of discussion. I'm going to seek a motion to improve, to amend section 3.07 to 3.7D, say by collecting student IDs and passwords or any other fraudulent activity by a candidate for use in voting strictly prohibited. Can I get a motion to approve that amendment? First by Representative Campbell, seconded by Representative Valdez. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstention? Passed. Can I get a motion to amend this policy to say confidential instead of anonymous? First by Representative Goldberg, seconded by Representative Flynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstention? Can I get a motion to approve this policy?
Can we do one more, just add the word simple before the majority, yeah, just so that it's clear to the next people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion to amend the policy, section 3.17F to say simple majority? First by Representative Jackman, seconded by Representative Russell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Can I get a motion to approve this amended policy? First by Deputy Speaker Doyle, seconded by Representative Rocha. All in favor? Okay.
Point of order.
Oh,
We're approving the amended policy
Yeah, the
or the
amended
amended section of the
sorry,
policy?
the amended section, 3.7.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, no, I appreciate it. Okay, motion to approve the amended section 3.07. First by President Di Gregorio, seconded by Representative Rocha. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? All right, next one, balloting for parliament officers. It's just changing the way it's formatting, and it says parliament officers instead of executive and parliament officers. This also is what I ran on. This also shortens a lot of the process. So instead of, we're starting off with 2 rounds of balloting. It would be speeches, then 2 rounds of balloting, and then second speeches, but then that's where the whole process is quicker. The speeches are only gonna be, the second round of speeches are only gonna be 3 minutes. And then it's only 1 more ballot after. And then the top 2 stay, again, the top 2 people stay. And if they're tied, if there's 3 people who are tied for first place, then that person will also stay. And then kind of just speeding up the whole process, it's only 1 more round of balloting. Everybody, each parliament representative is allowed 1 question to ask, but each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. And the whole town hall portion will last a total of 15 minutes. And same thing, just making it shorter, only at 1 round of voting, then the candidate with the most votes shall be declared the winner.
It's good. It's, please take one.
Valuable input.
Thank you,
Oh, thank you, Representative Mann.
Yeah, next.
Is there any discussion?
Just a question.
Yeah.
So if we get to the town hall portion where every member is allowed to ask a question, it's a 2-minute response. And then we've allowed 15 minutes of time. That's not enough time for every member to ask a question and get a 2-minute response. So maybe cut down on the time for responses.
All right,
Cause even if everybody tried and it would be like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Representative Mann.
We discussed this in the elections meeting, that like, no matter what, it's not gonna be enough time to answer the question, or just not everyone's gonna ask the question. So I think it minutes. Let's be fine. We act on the answer, because not everyone's gonna ask a question, and like you can't go on. And they need enough time to actually answer the question.
Representative LaRose.
I think also, not every answer to every question is gonna take 2 minutes, so I think if we keep our answers concise, we go into it knowing we only have 2 minutes, but don't take up the whole 2 minutes. If you really have to, so be it, but I don't think most answers to most questions are gonna take that long. I think if you have your notes down, I just don't think. I think 15 minutes is reasonable, especially in the sake of time, I think it makes sense to have it at 2 minutes than 15.
So if there's no further discussion, I would like to seek a motion to approve section 3.08. First by President Di Gregorio, seconded by Representative Rose. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Proxy voting. This is just adding so that there's more language for being able to do digital votes. Yeah. And this is also would just be for parliamentarian officers.
Sorry, 2 things. 1, the wording under section. Would it be 3.9 A and B? Oh, yeah. And then, that was not part of my things, but the second one is that wording seems a little bit not in the right sense, because it's it just come to the office, you fill out a ballot. I feel like that should be changed to different wording.
More formal.
More formal. And then the second point is just a period before the order. That's it.
Okay. Is there discussion on Representative Weber just said? Trigger rules.
Sorry, not about what he said.
Oh, well, you can still get your own.
Okay. So in section 3.09 C, number 1. It's names the officials who are eligible to give you the ballots. You fill it out and sign it, and then it says return to the individual who gave it to you and they will sign as witness. Could you, instead of putting the individual and they, could you say the SCG official?
Should I say, I would probably change the aforementioned, the mentioned before, because I like, they shouldn't just give it to like the deputy super, sorry, and just be like. You know what I mean? Like, I think if we say, official, you say elections official, or you say one of the listed officials.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. There's no further discussion, Deputy Secretary Doyle? Oh. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to amend this policy to change the lettering to A and B, whoops, can I get a motion to approve that? First by President Gregorio, seconded by Representative Reed, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. I would also like to make an amendment to change the language in C.1 to say, instead of the individual who gave it to you, the above listed, SCG official, same thing with the they in the following sentence. Can I get a motion to approve that amendment? Representative Russell, second by Representative Bach, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve the amended policy. By Representative Mann, second by Representative Goldberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Oh, yes. Wait, before we approve that, another amendment, can I get a motion to approve amending the policy in section 3.09 C.1 to get rid of the period after envelope? First by Representative Mann, seconded by Representative Reed, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. Can I get a motion to approve the amended policy, including the?
Can I,
Yeah.
Make a motion to make an amendment that the commission members verifying proxy ballots will be determined by the vice president prior to the election day, that they just can't be a candidate.
Oh. Yeah.
That seems reasonable that
No,
they
no.
wouldn't,
Yeah. Okay, so can I get a motion to approve?
Ben, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Yes, Peter.
I just have a point of information.
Yeah.
We don't need to amend for lettering or numbering. It'll be
really?
corrected once it's approved. So,
Thank you.
yeah, it's all done.
Treasurer Royals?
I move to amend the section 3.09 to what Marcus just said. And specify that it is proxy voting for the parliament officer election. Because that doesn't say that anywhere. And in section, what right now is section D, it says all proxy ballots will be verified after the close of business the day of the election. Okay, yeah, if it's specified that it's the parliament officer election, then that's fine.
so do you still wanna amend it to?
It included what you said
Yeah.
and changing the name to saying specifically parliament.
Sounds like that.
Okay, so seconded by Representative Pacheco, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Alright, passed. Can I get a motion to approve the amended section? First by Representative Mann, seconded by Representative Campbell, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. Certifications. This is. It shouldn't be on here. Same policy twice. Alright. We're done.
Wait.
Oh. Oh, 3.09 is the same as, like, they're the same thing.
We have the certification.
We're talking 3.10.
Certification is the same.
Oh, it's not
Does
changing.
it change?
Yeah, I
Okay, perfect.
totally just, yeah. So there's nothing to change about the certification.
The change test is you're calling someone a candidate and not a person.
Thank you, you rock hard. Can I get a motion to approve the amended policy to say candidate instead of person? First by Representative Goldberg, seconded by President Di Gregorio. Favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, passed.
Can I make a motion that we change from a majority of votes to the, like, whatever a winning qualifier is? It's not always, where some of them are by 50%, some simple majority. Like, once an election is won or something.
I think that's why we have the votes of received, just because that's for the quorum above will protect that.
We're in 3.10 certification.
Yeah, so the above quorum policy, we're talking about parliament officers, because it says the 50.1. I don't feel like it would be necessary to.
Oh, I see, because it's in the subsection of that majority.
Right.
Gotcha.
Point of information. Did we amend the policy to include a quorum for the executive council votes?
2%.
That's gonna go to my committee, and then we're gonna create it there and then bring it back here.
Okay, then we probably shouldn't vote on this tonight if that's not included. I moved to the table.
Okay. Okay, can I get a motion or any discussion on tabling? The motion, it's a discussion. You don't wanna talk about table?
Could we just approve everything but that? Is that an option? Or is that, we see problem with that?
Sugar what?
Oh, we could approve that, but then if it wasn't, there's no like accountability that it will change. But if we don't approve it, then it'll go back to elections, they'll change it, and then it'll come back here.
Yeah, two steps ahead of me. Smart, okay.
Representative Russell?
So if we didn't approve it and it came back, would we have to go through every single section again?
No, we could just go, we could just look at that and then approve it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Treasurer Hoyt?
Another point of information, sorry. So Joan said that there was a deadline for this policy to pass for it to take effect this year.
By
You
the
know
time of
that-
election,
By the time of elections?
by the time that they would have to start. But why?
Okay, I don't know, she seemed like it was a closed process.
No, not close.
Okay,
In the past, I feel like, again, this is frankly, when I talked to her about the election policy last year. So she always says like issued by the end of January, so that way you can get, do whatever you have to do before the election, so it's like. You'd probably wanna aim for that first meeting of the next semester.
Okay, so then can I get a motion to table this with the inclusion of the quorum policy for the executive council? First by Representative Deputy Speaker Doyle, seconded by President Di Gregorio. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. I yield the floor to,
Me.
the speaker, Dominic.
All right, so next on the agenda is the policy and bylaws that would have passed. Or it was kind of like purpose to pass with what we were just talking about. You all have a copy, original, and highlighted what has changed, and then there's a rationale on the back. I'm gonna seek a motion to table this to our next meeting, December 3rd. I'm not done talking, hold on. Just because it's meant to pass with the elections policy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm seeking a motion to table bylaws education policy revision vote to December 3rd. Motion by Representative Mann, second by Representative Reed, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there any discussion? Sorry, I forget about that part. Representative LaRose?
This is totally unrelated. Is there like a rule about motioning before someone's done talking. I feel the whole time, all I hear is this while you guys, I like can't hear what you're saying from back here because everyone's lifting their.
There's not.
Well,
So,
you
well,
run the meeting, so you can.
I-
Hot take, maybe
Yeah,
that's.
stop it, cut it out, guys.
There you go.
Wait for me to be done talking.
Assert your authority.
Yeah, okay, is there any other discussion over the tabling? Going once, going twice. Okay, all in favor?
I.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, tabling passed. From that, we're gonna move on to updates and remarks. It's 9:43. Oh, sorry, Nikita?
I just wanted, on Judy's comment,
Yes.
Miguel does a really good job of this, but anybody can make a motion. You don't have to wait for an executive council member to say, I'm seeking a motion for this. You can just pick up your thing and say, I move to do this. And then there's not the of everybody. You can just say, I move to do this, and then the speaker will call for a second.
That is correct.
Yeah, so you don't have to wait for that. Miguel doesn't wait for that. He just, I move to do this.
Thank you.
Anybody's allowed to do that.
Okay, what I was saying with updates, from faculty admin. It's 9:43. Yep, if you have a dying question for them, I'll allow it, but, if anything that could be an email, I would suggest that. With that being said, let's hear administration updates from Cindy Kozel. On the screen.
Just want to say great job with your preparation and questions for Dr. Warner tonight. And then I just have one question for you. Trying to get a sense if all of you that are on college committees have been invited to meetings of your committee. If I could ask that if you haven't, if you could let the speaker know so that we make sure all of our college committees have representation. I heard from one or two committees, the students that they hadn't heard from their committee. So we just want to make sure all of you that serve on committees are actually invited and involved in these meetings. Everything else I have can wait till the next meeting.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move. Something to say, Treasurer Hoyos?
Yeah, so part of your roles as representatives is to attend the college committee meetings as well as the parliament meetings and the corporation committee meetings. If you guys don't present a report like this whole year, I'm the person who decides whether you get paid or not. And like I'm telling you now, I won't pay you if you don't come to us and prove that you went to at least one meeting. Cause I know they don't meet often, always, but we should be hearing updates from everybody.
Do you have something to say, Cindy?
No, just that it's important we know if you haven't been invited, because if you can't get paid if you haven't been invited, that's the big question.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on to faculty updates from Dr. Perry Levis.
I know, so you have me for the next couple of months. Dr. Marcotte will come in and out depending on if she can zoom in. But I have just two quick comments. One, I thought the questions that you all brought, like Cindy said, to the president were terrific. If there was some way for Nikita to actually track so that we actually know those questions, and if they could actually be potentially sent to the president so that the president knows what the questions are, I think that would be terrific. In the same way that we did to the provost about follow-up from when your questions were going to the provost last year. So I think that's important. The second is I wondered whether or not you're gonna give a presentation similar to the presentation that y'all gave to the faculty from the student survey, that you're gonna give it to us. And because I think that would be important. It was great to hear it as a faculty member at faculty council, but it'd be terrific if you gave the executive summary to us. And then my plug for all of you is that when you think about redoing the survey for this year, that you ask for feedback of students about their educational experience, because everything you ask about student advising, you ask about all of the other student activities, but you don't ask about the student's experience as a student being taught by teachers at Rhode Island College. And while we have course evaluations from an individual professor, there's an opportunity of you giving feedback, students giving feedback on their academic experience. And I think that's really important. It's missing from the survey.
Thank you. We're gonna move on to Representative Kane.
I'll keep it brief, quick update, so. Customer service perspectives and IT, if we're transferring you, I've been encouraging my staff, student staff. We are calling the other office for you to make sure it is the right place, and if it is not, we are keeping you with us. Trying to keep that down.
Thank you. Representative Ward.
Yeah, real quick. So at the top, we talked about the student value catering guide. I have returned that guide as the product itself is complete, meaning that you can now start to use it for clubs and organizations. We need to doll it up and make it pretty so that you can post it, publish it, whatever you decide you're going to do. So just understand that that's out there. The other thing I want to say about catering, and there's a lot of it happening, event planning, et cetera. You can always come to us if you're trying to stay within a budget or you're looking for ideas. Just engage with us, talk to us a little bit. Matt was an expert about that. You know, when you only have limited funds, but you're trying to do a lot, we're happy to sit down with you and try to help you kind of work through that. So we have the student value guide, but we also have different ways to look at it to trying to make it work for whatever you're doing. The only other update I will share is that the team, between now and the end of the semester, will be introducing a new station in Dawn. We actually have an action station, pasta saute, that will appear on weekends, primarily Friday night, Saturday night, and then periodically throughout the week. So stay tuned for more, but that's coming.
Okay. Thank you. Ted Zito?
I just want to plug Gerald's Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow night, 5 to 8 p.m. Really fun event, lots of great things happening. We do have our very own Wixon DJing, along with some make and take stations, dance performances, bingo, a scavenger hunt, lots of prizes and a photo booth. So I hope to see you all there, and lots of staff serving you all your food. So enjoy a great meal and see you there. Operation hours are shifting a little bit in Dawn.
Yeah, so we'll keep Dawn open as long as we possibly can before we have to shut down. So it'll probably go till about 4:30. We'll direct people upstairs for seating. The dining room will come offline around 2:30. Gerald.
I know Gerald.
Gerald.
I thought Gerald.
I have to woke up, it's Gerald, there's an accent.
I forgive me, sir.
All right.
Noted.
I do like Gerald then.
I do too.
I know, I like Gerald better, but.
All right, thank you, Ted. Board, just gonna hear from, hey, I didn't yield the floor to you. Mr. Matthew Jakes, updates?
Thank you, Speaker Ptolemy, and good evening, everyone. I have two updates from the Alumni Association that I want to share at Parliament. One, cap and gown sponsorship program that's launching. The Alumni Association will be launching their second annual cap and gown sponsorship program this January. Last year, they sponsored 123 graduating seniors, and this year they're hoping to support even more. Seniors should keep an eye out for the application. Once it opens, anyone interested in having their cap and gown sponsored should submit an application once it goes live. Information will be shared on BritConnect social media, and the dean and dean students will send out an email. Please help spread the word to seniors you represent so we can maximize participation this year. The second announcement is a career alumni panel on March 25th at 5:30 p.m. The Alumni Association is also partnering with Thea from the new Career and Life Design Center to host career and alumni panel. The event will feature alumni from each of the RIC's 5 schools. Panelists will share career pathways, professional experiences, and advice for current students. And this will be on Wednesday, March 25th at 5:30 p.m. in Clark Science 152. This is a great opportunity for students who want insight into different career trajectories and alumni connections. If anyone has any questions about these initiatives, feel free to reach out to me and I can pass them along to the Alumni Association. Thank you. Now you on the floor.
All right, thank you. Next, I'm gonna yield the floor to President DiGregorio, who's gonna quickly, I hope, go over appointments.
I'm moving so fast.
Appointments, resignations, and vacancies. There you go.
Okay. Bylaws, we got Seamus Culhane. Condition Services, we got Jonathan Seguin. Finance is full. Public Relations, we got Jonathan Seguin. Resignations, we got Jack Doyle from PR, no reason given. Alex Logan resigned from Conditions and Services due to scheduling conflicts. And vacancies, I believe every committee has some open spots besides finance, and your committee needs non-parliament members still?
Parliament member. I'll take as many parliament members as we can
So
fit.
somebody go talk to him after this meeting.
2 would be great, but I need 1,
And
2 to 3 Fridays.
okay. And I would like to make a motion to approve these. First by Representative Russell, second by Representative Pacheco, all in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. I yield the floor to Speaker Thomas.
Alright, we're gonna move on to issues of parliament members. Are there any issues of parliament members? Going once. Representative Russell.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, second by Representative Siegel. Is there any discussion? No? I know we all wanna leave after we vote on this. Hey, remain in your seats so Nikita can do roll call. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned.
Please stay in your seats. There's been a lot of in and outs tonight. Okay, Dante Di Gregorio.
Present.
Pat Sullivan. Here. Rena Colonis. Miguel Hoyos.
Here.
Benjamin Tomini.
Here.
Jack Doyle.
Nikita.
Brianni Acosta. Isabella Va. Here. Joshua Ballesteros.
Yeah.
Olivia Barone. Monica. Yes. Present. Sorry, I'm in Campbell. So you can say it. President William Dempsey. Donovan Johnson. Amy Goldberg. Here. Alexander Howlett. Riley Jackman. Alex Crom.
Here.
Judy LaRose.
Here.
Alex Logan.
Present.
Malcolm Mann.
Here.
Paige Marshall.
Here.
Madison Mello.
Here.
Joshua Mihalos. James Nellis.
Here.
Marcus Pacheco.
Here.
Ty Reed. Marcus Rocha. Haley Rose. Chris Russell.
Here.
Jason Sanchez.
Here.
Jonathan Seguin.
Here.
Tamia Smith. Neil Satashtian. Jasmine Valdez. Lucas Weber. Cindy Kozl's here. Perry Levis. Here. Melissa Marcotte. Michael Kane.
Here.
Michael Ward.
Here.
Testito. Matthew Jakes.
Present.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night. I got it.
Oh, you're. I am. I am.